Oh, shit. Oh, hey, guys. Can you hear me now? Should be able to hear me now, guys. Sorry, I didn't realize it just went up when it went. So 1 second, guys. I got to get a few more things set up. Alrighty, let me see over here how I got things set up. Alright, cool. So if you guys can hear me, that is good. You might be able to hear the debate in the background as well. It looks like right now, give me 1 second, guys. I need to adjust a few things here.
I saw one of those Trump signs that says, America, love it or leave it. And it was on the outside of a church. I love America, and I know we can make it better. Before coming to the Senate, I ran a large urban school district where most of the kids live in poverty. Those kids have exactly the same hopes that I had. Their parents have exactly the same hopes for them that my parents had for me, and that Susan and I had for our 3 children. But for the last 3 years, we've been consumed by a president who frankly doesn't give a damn about your kids or mine. Mr. President, kids belong in classrooms, not cages. And they deserve something better than a bully in the White House. Let's end this 3-ring circus in Washington. And let's make this election about reclaiming our future for our kids and our democracy. Empty promises won't beat Donald Trump. I can.
Governor Jay Inslee.
Good evening. I'm Jay Inslee. I am running for president because the people in this room and the Democrats watching tonight.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I don't know if you guys can actually hear the debates at all. I have it just on over my shoulder in the background. But yeah, I'm ready to watch along and see when. I mean, it's good to see Jay Inslee's getting a shot, right? They're giving him a chance to talk already. Hold on 1 second.
It has to be our top priority. My plan is one of national mobilization, quickly bringing 100% clean energy to Americans, creating 8 million good union jobs. This is a big.
Yeah, that actually is a good point. That was one thing I wanted to look at was potentially going on Twitch. Tonight, guys, honestly, there's going to be some technical difficulties, I'm sure. It's the first time I've ever done a live stream through YouTube on this current setup. I really just want to see if I can actually keep us up as long as the debate would be and make sure the quality's so good. So please let me know, guys, in the chat if you notice anything wrong. Frame drops. I don't think I'm seeing them on my end. I look pretty good on my end, but just keep heads up. Just kind of doing a test tonight to see exactly how it's going to work moving forward. Yeah, and again, yeah, I'd love to get on Twitch eventually. That'd be the next thing. If I was using a restream or something, I'd be on Twitch already. But it was a little last minute getting this set up, see if it works. I figure I'll have it just in the background for you guys, the CNN page, and I'll refresh it so any of the big, whatever they consider to be the big news, at least we'll have up. Because yeah, I'm not looking forward to getting striked on my account just yet. So maybe one day, but for now, I'd rather not get striked. You can watch the debate online if you would like. I said it's CNN.com. You'll notice you can't find it on YouTube, but CNN.com has it right on their homepage. I don't know if to be frank, I'm not super up to date with the mobile page for CNN. So maybe it won't work. But I have it up right now. I would pan the camera to show you guys just over my shoulder. You could probably hear it, but I would, like I said, I'm not looking forward to getting pulled down quite yet. Oh, cool. Tulsa's first chance.
I love our country. It's why I enlisted after 9/11. I've served as a soldier for over 16 years, deployed twice to the Middle East, and serve in Congress now for almost 7 years. I know what patriotism is, and I've known many great patriots throughout my life. And let me tell you this, Donald Trump is not behaving like a patriot. As
Yeah,
president, I will
again, yeah, that was something else too. I
support
wanted to give everyone just a place where we can kind of come together and talk about what's going on
all
tonight.
Americans, not just the rich and powerful. I'll fight for our rights and
I,
freedoms of all
I don't like hating politicians, Caleb, but like Gillibrand is definitely one of those people that
our country was founded.
I mean, I don't like being rude to politicians. You know, some of them are stupid, but doing something that I might not do. But yeah, man, that beer pong out of hers was one of the funniest. I just can't imagine being like, wow, dude, she sunk that beer pong shot, man. That's my president right there. So, and she takes up a lot of everyone's time, but hey, she's running at least.
Government of, by, and for the people. Secretary Julian Castro.
Thank you, Dana, and good evening. Just a few days ago, we were reminded and inspired by our fellow Americans in Puerto Rico that public service is not fundamentally about
One second, guys.
us. It's about you and your family. I want you to know that if I'm elected president, that I will work hard every single day so that you and your family can have good health care when you need it, so that your children and grandchildren can get a good education, so that they can reach their dreams, and that you can have good job opportunities, whether you live here in a big city like Detroit or in a small town in our country. I know we have a wonderful, special nation, but that too many people are struggling. And I know what that's like too. I grew up with a single mom in a poor neighborhood. But like many of you, I don't want to make America anything again. I don't want us to go back
I hear you, man. Typhon, I hear you about Spectrum, man. They are the.
where we came from.
Dude, I don't know where you live, living out in Los Angeles. Remember, they tried to pull some nonsense and take Laker games away from all the residents in Los Angeles, and that lasted about a month or two. But they've got the Dodgers hidden for a while, so not a fan.
If you've heard anything about me and my campaign, you've heard that someone is running for president who wants to give every American $1,000 a month. I know this may sound like a gimmick, but this is a deeply American idea, from Thomas Paine to Martin Luther King to today. Let me tell you why we need to do it and how we pay for it. Why do we need to do it? We already automated away millions of manufacturing.
Oh, whoops! Sorry about that. Sorry about any difficulties, guys. This is my first time running the live stream through YouTube like this on this setup. Again, I just want to. It's kind of a test die. Oh, and you're right, man. No tie. I thought he was wearing a tie. Retail apocalypse. Good. I like it.
Taxes while doing it. We need to do the opposite of much of what we're doing right now, and the opposite of Donald Trump is an Asian man who likes
There it is.
So let me share the
Wow. Look at that crowd response. Yeah. Holy cow, guys.
for every adult would be $461 million every month right here in Detroit alone. The automation of our jobs is the central challenge facing us today. It is why Donald Trump is
Sorry, I gotta keep my secret Twitter info hidden from you guys. Sorry.
telling the American people.
Some woman in this crowd is absolutely loving Andrew Yang. I hope you guys can hear her as well.
President of the United States attacked an American city, calling it a disgusting, rat-infested, rodent mess. We need a nation that understands that these tired, old language, the I will stand by.
Yeah, can you guys hear what they're saying? I can't hear it. Fire some? Is that what you guys are hearing? Fire someone? I can't hear what they're saying. Did anyone get that? I honestly couldn't hear. Is that for a second? I thought I heard Andrew Yang at the end as well. I couldn't hear what they were saying.
War to even the border is using the tired old language of demagogues, of fearmongers.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone caught that. I did not catch what they were yelling, guys. I don't know. Someone was yelling. I don't know what they were yelling. They're yelling something though.
Donald Trump is. But in this election, the question is, who are we as a people? We have
Yeah, one thing I'll say about Cory Booker, man. Me and Cardin were looking at this the other day. I'm not the biggest policy fan of Cory Booker, But if you look up what this guy was doing when he was a mayor, I believe it was, of Newark, he like ran into a burning building to save a woman's life. I think his neighbor, his house was on fire. He ran in and saved her. I think there was like a snow in, and he asked anyone if anyone needed anyone. And someone's like, "Oh, my sister can't get diapers," and he just brought diapers to her house. So, I'm not a big policy guy in Booker, but I gotta say, he seems like a good guy. So.
Beat Donald Trump. That's how I will beat Donald Trump.
I did hear that at the end of Yang's thing. It sounded like they had his gain up too loud to like to almost like overcompensate and say like, we are not going to let this mic stuff happen to us, which I like. Oh yeah, Kamala as well. I think that's just sound issues in the event. And I just have in the background, just to try to keep the screen moving for you guys, some Twitter stuff talking about the debates. Hey, and right away, I see someone talking about Andrew Yang. I don't know if this is curated for me with Yang fans. I'm not 100% familiar with Frank Luntz, but it's pretty cool.
That we must fight for the best of who we are. And fight, of course, we will.
Yeah, I agree, Booker. We were saying, dude, I think Cory Booker should just go back to being a mayor. If Cory Booker, the mayor, is like saving people's lives and like a man of the community, that's awesome. But Cory Booker, the presidential candidate, dude, yeah, I am not a fan.
I come from fighters. My parents met when they were active in the civil rights movement. My sister Maya and I joke, we grew up surrounded by a bunch of adults who spent full-time marching and shouting about this thing called justice.
Yeah, Yang got one of the biggest receptions so far of anyone.
March with you to fight
I have no idea what they're chanting, dude. I have no idea.
and
Fire
successfully prosecute the
Oh, is that the shoot, I'm looking like an idiot here. Is that the Puerto Rican guy?
against him.
I believe Puerto Rican governor?
Vice President Joe Biden.
I don't know, dude. I was trying to hear.
Some engagement here. I expect we'll get it. I'm running for president to restore the soul of this country. You know, we have a president, as everybody's acknowledged here, every day is ripping at the social fabric of this country. But no one man has the capacity to rip that apart. It's too strong. We're too good. Just look at this stage, made up of very diverse people from diverse backgrounds.
Am I right? Is that who Pantaleo would be referencing?
Congresswomen, members of the cabinet, and yes, even a vice president. Mr. President, this
Oh, no.
is America.
Oh, my God. I'm an even bigger idiot. Sorry about that guy. I guess he was one of the officers involved in the Eric Garner issue. So, I don't know why they'd be chanting that in Detroit, but I think that's what they were saying then, if that's what they were saying.
We are not leaving it.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. I'll turn up a little bit, Shell. I have to be careful because if it's too loud, they'll pull it. But
Thank you, Vice President Biden. I want to start the debate with one of the top priorities for Democratic voters, and that is health care. Senator Harris, this week you released a new health care plan, which would preserve private insurance
All right.
and take
yeah, if you want the actual live feed of the debate, please. Well, don't please go to CNN. However, if you go to CNN.com, it's on the homepage, and you'll be able to see the debate there. Yeah, if you guys want, you can just the chat here. Yeah, I don't want to. This is our first stream on YouTube. I wanted to see how it works first before we get pulled down. Yeah.
But the reality is that I have been spending time in this campaign listening to American families, listening to experts, listening to healthcare providers. And what I came away with is a very clear understanding that I needed to create a plan that was responsive to the needs of the American people, responsive to their needs, understanding that insurance companies have been jacking up the prices for far too long, that American families have to be held down by deductibles and co-pays and premiums that can cause
Yeah, I know that's the one thing I always freak out the most about whenever it comes, because like people always tell me, they're like, "Oh, dude, do it. It's fair use." I'm like, they don't care about fair use, man. They'll pull you down whether it's fair use or not. And then what? Am I gonna sue CNN? I'm gonna sue YouTube? Like,
that will be under your Medicare.
Oh, Spartan, is that this stream's audio that's choppy or video that's choppy? Because like I said, I'm also tonight kind of doing this is kind of like a pilot to see how streaming works for us. We'd love to do more streams. I want to make sure our setups.
Under my plan for Medicare. Because the bottom line
WWE with that wrestling.
we must agree.
Dude, I have to say, honestly, I don't see one person on that stage that would be able to cut. Like, if any one of them were told you have to cut a promo, your life depends on it.
Are going without access.
I don't know, man. Maybe Yang could drop into one, but I don't know who else on the stage could cut an actual promo on someone. And that's an underrated thing, dude. If Donald Trump wasn't in the WWE Hall of Fame, I don't think he'd be president. So that's not to be overlooked, I don't think.
In 10 years,
Oh, see if I can get my mic up a little bit for you guys.
You will lose your employer-based insurance.
Let me check. Okay, that should be a little better. I guess it is a little bit quiet.
Facing the public.
You're also going to hear probably the air conditioner in the background, but it's
President Trump with double talk.
out where we live this time of year gets absolutely ridiculous this around now. Here we go.
Vice President Biden, you're just simply inaccurate.
Hey, look at this.
The reality
First thing I pull up on Twitter is Andrew Yang when I type in the debates. It's probably because it's my Twitter account and all I talk about Andrew Yang on it, but still, man, it's interesting.
Our plan will allow people
His YouTube sounds a problem.
on the first day. Babies
Eventually, YouTube's going to silence everyone, man. Eventually, they'll get us all.
Babies almost are born every day in America, or every year in America. Under our plan, we will ensure that everyone has access to health care. Your plan, by contrast, leaves out almost 10 million Americans. So I think that you should really think about what you're saying, but be reflective and understand that the people of America want access to health care and do not want cost to be their barrier to getting it.
Senator Harris, thank you. Vice President Biden, your response?
The plan, no matter how you cut it, costs $3 trillion
You know what?
when it is in fact employed. Now, after 2 terms of the senator being president, after her time. Secondly, it will
Yeah. What's the other thing, too? CNN having the live stream basically contained to their own website, they are definitely going to be super aggressive policing this stuff.
what happens in the meantime?
Because, I mean, they did the same thing. Who was it? I think Steven Crowder did the Emmys or the Academy Awards. Same thing, dude. Like, they'll just pull you down. They don't. These are big ass companies. If they say, hey,
We are
pull it down, it gets pulled down.
America over the next 10 years.
I'm really happy to see it only took us, 15 minutes to get to the Kamala Biden show? I think it took longer last time, but the last 4 times I've glanced back at the screen, it's just Kamala and Biden going at each other. So
Millions of seniors are going into the Medicare system, and they are getting full coverage and the kind of coverage they need. All people should have access to health care, and cost should not be their barrier.
I love how Harris is lecturing Biden about this when he was literally vice president when Obama passed Obamacare, which is the closest we've come to what she was just proposing. So I love how she's just sitting there like, oh, you Joe Biden. It's like if anyone on stage could say I've done more for anyone for healthcare for all, it'd be Joe Biden. I feel like he was literally, in the White House and stuff's happening. It's hilarious to see Kamala attack him. That's the stuff that bothers me, man. Where you could tell it's kind of like they want Kamala Biden center stage. What a phony attack from Kamala on Biden. Oh, you didn't do enough for healthcare for all. Are you kidding me? He was stuff like that. It's just like I said, I really hope we don't get the Kamala Biden show, but I got de Blasio now, so.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Vice President Biden, you just heard Mayor de Blasio. He said in the past that Democrats who want to keep the private insurance industry are defending a healthcare system that is not working. What's your response?
My response is Obamacare is working. The way to build this and get to it immediately is to build on Obamacare. Go back and take back all.
Yeah, look, what a layup they just gave Joe Biden. Joe Biden's running on, hey, I was the vice president for Obama, and I'm going to help return the Obama era back to the Democratic Party. And they just attack him.
in the plan. It would be take
Honestly, Lion, worth is an interesting word. If you're interested, I don't know, man. I think the Dodgers are on right now. I don't know what other sports are on right now. It's kind of in between sports seasons. I don't know what's on TV Wednesday nights, but I don't think you'll be a smarter, better person for having watched this.
Senator Gillibrand, you support Medicare for all. How do you feel about Senator Harris continuing to call her health proposal Medicare for all when it includes a far more significant role for private insurance than the bill you co-sponsored?
I think for the viewers in the audience right now, they're at risk of losing the forest through the trees. Because the truth is,
Why are they're all wearing, are those prop mics on stage? Because they all have like lavalier mics as well. I know there's like a prop mics.
And his whole body turned red and puffy. I had to rush him to the emergency room. My heart is palpitating because I'm worried that his throat will close.
The funny thing too, Vignesh, this is the second debate by a different organization with audio issues. Isn't that funny?
Whatever they're going to prescribe, whether it's an EpiPen or an inhaler, I can
Actually, hold up. Sorry, Jesus. I just remembered. Good news. Dodgers won. Game's over, though. They're playing kind of a earlier start in Colorado. Will Smith, 3-run homer. Top of the ninth.
They're for-profit companies. They have an obligation to their shareholders. They pay their CEO millions of dollars.
Gillibrand missed a moment to use fiduciary. It's a good word.
They have fat in the system that's real, and it should be going to healthcare. So let's not lose the forest.
Yeah, I believe it, Joe. Like, this is like,
Forget
CNN's a big company, man, and all they have to do is pull your video down, and then if they say, "Oh, we were wrong," 40 hours later, who cares? You know, they already got it. They banned Trihex? They banned him? Or they just shut the stream down? Because if they banned him, that's crazy, man.
Biden about the Affordable Care Act. It is important that you understand that our Medicare for All plan has actually, by the architect of the Obama Affordable Care Act, been described as one of the most effective ways to bring health care to all, Kathleen Sebelius has endorsed our plan as being something that will get us to where we need to go. In terms of the point that Senator Gillibrand is raising, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, that is crazy, sports. If they actually did ban Trihex, I mean, he's like an OG Twitch streamer, man. He goes back years, dude. I think I remember him from like AGDQ, like 2012, probably even earlier than that. So that's crazy, man. They took his account down for it. CNN's a big, powerful media enterprise, though, so.
The limit of copay to be $1,000 because we further support
If anyone isn't watching, I just want to note that once again, it is Harris and Joe Biden on camera.
this is somehow a bad idea. No one has to
How can you guys hear the audio like strongly in the background?
they should be able to keep it. Nothing is demanded of my plan.
I'm hoping there's enough audio interference between me talking and the air conditioner on, but I can jump it down a little bit.
Right to have it. If they don't, they can buy into the Biden plan, which is Obamacare.
Because I'm hoping Okay, good, yeah. Okay, I mean, I just kind of have it on so I can hear it because I don't want you guys. I don't want the stream to get pulled down. Like I said, as much as I hate having to send you guys to CNN, it's the only like safe way.
Well, first of all, let me just say that the person who's enjoying this debate most right now is Donald Trump, as we pit Democrats against each other, while he is working right now to take away Americans' health care.
Here, I can do this for you guys.
Working through the system that's going to gut the Affordable Care Act and actually gut protections on pre-existing conditions. And so I was raised by two civil rights parents who told me to always keep your eyes on the prize. And that is that in the United States of America, every Democrat should stand with the belief that everyone should have access to health care, that it's a human right. And how we get there, it has to be to end this broken system because we are on our way.
Okay, it should be there fainter in the background.
Of literally spending 20% of our economy, one at a
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep the audio a little bit down. I just don't want to get the stream yanked. If I got striked on my first stream, I have to admit that would make me very unhappy.
multiple more than other countries.
Yeah, exactly, Anthony. I love how I look on camera. It's Booker currently, but like I'll be making sure everything's sounding all right. Look up. Oh, cool. It's Kamala Harris and Joe Biden again.
Progressives against moderates, saying one is unrealistic and the other doesn't care enough. That to me is dividing our party and demoralizing us in face of the real.
And also the reaction to Andrew Yang's first statement was very good. He had some passionate people.
The reality is right now we don't have a healthcare system. We have a sick care system, and there are far too many people in this country who are sick and unable to get the care that they need because
This audio. How has this happened? You have two organizations hosting debates like a month apart, and they can't get their audio stuff under control, man. That is something else. You know what I mean? They really can't get this audio stuff done. Like, did they contract the same people?
Kathleen Sebelius, who helped write her bill, this just pointed to the fatal flaw in her proposal. Sebelius works for Medicare Advantage, private insurance company who will stand to profit under her plan. If we're seeking to really reform our healthcare system, we've got to shut out big insurance and big pharma out of the drafting process so they cannot continue to profit off the backs of the sick people in this country.
Yeah.
who are
Honestly, I kind of like the whiteout from Tulsi. She stands out with it. It doesn't. It gets a little bit lost in the camera. She looks almost like angelic, but like it stands out though. It's good. Kamala's gray. She just kind of blends in.
One of the plans that is the best to get us to a place where everyone is going to have access to health care in America. And when we
Yeah, I'm assuming if you guys are watching the CNN stream directly live, it's probably going to be like 90 seconds or so behind. Just generally speaking, when a stream, it's about that.
And your own definition, 10 million people, as many as 10 million people will not have access to health care. And in 2019 in America, for a Democrat to be running for president with a plan that does not cover everyone, I think is without excuse. Our plan
For anyone who isn't watching, once again, it's Kamala Harris and Joe Biden on camera.
What plan will cover everyone? Number one. Number two, the fact is that my plan also biopharma is now where things are going to go.
All right, I'm sorry, guys. It's hot. I gotta get the air conditioner on.
Breakthroughs we have with the whole, the whole immune system. And what we have to do now is we have to have a form that sits in the HHS and says, as you develop a drug, you got to come to us and decide what you can sell it for. We will set the price. And secondly, it says that you cannot raise that price beyond the cost of inflation from this point on.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to bring in Senator Bennett.
Holy cow! Did you guys catch that? They said thank you, Mr. Vice President, and Joe just cut.
Would get Donald Trump reelected. Do you agree?
Oh, here's Yang's #1 target.
I agree that it makes it much more likely. Unlike others on this
Dude's got a pair of eyebrows. Quite, I didn't know that.
where I've been for a decade through 2 tough races in Colorado. I believe we should finish the job we started with the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah. But hey, but you know what, PogChamp? If Yang comes out with Mariana and a couple just poignant points, that could be enough.
Private insurance or public insurance. It requires drug companies to be negotiated with by Medicare, and it provides.
Yeah, isn't it like sadly refreshing, NL, just hearing someone say, "Oh no, this is why you should vote for me, and this is what I'm about," instead of like, "Well, this election's a referendum on America." It's like, oh, geez, man, we've heard this.
Employer-based health insurance in this country and massively raise taxes on the middle class to the tune of $30 trillion, as Joe Biden said.
Uh-oh, they're gonna shut him down. You're talking about raising taxes on the middle class? No thanks, man. We shut that conversation down around here.
Put huge taxes on almost everybody in this room when we can pass a public option, trust the American people to make the right decision, and have universal health care in this country in 2 years, not 10 years.
Secretary Castro, I want to bring you in.
That wasn't a bad little bit, though, but it's just...
I'll come to you right after Secretary Castro. Secretary Castro.
Well, I know that this is
Yeah, also, for anyone keeping track, after their super long, indulgent intro, we're about 30 minutes in, Andrew Yang was asked... well, he wasn't asked. He was able to give his opening statement, and that's the extent we've heard of Yang, so...
on it and then expand it to anybody who wants it.
It's a 2-hour debate, though, so we'll see what happens. Or 3-hour debate, so...
Private health insurance plan that is strong, that they want to hold on to, that they should be able to do that. What I don't believe is that the profit motive of big pharma or big insurance companies should ever determine in our great nation whether somebody gets health care or not.
Thank you. New Twitter. Finally showing me what I'm looking for. Here we go.
Banning employer-based health insurance. Is that true?
Well, first of all, with all due respect to my friend Michael Bennett, my plan does not offer anything that is illegal. What it does is it separates the employer from health care, meaning that where you work will not the kind of health care you get will not be.
I'm sorry if there's any Kamala fans out there or whatever. There might be. Every time I think of Kamala Harris, this is the image that pops in my head of Kamala Harris every single time. Whenever she opens her mouth, that's what I think of. I'm like, that's Kamala, man.
Kind of healthcare people get, and under my plan, we do that. As it relates to the insurance and the pharmaceutical companies, who will not be called in and
Again,
not
do you hear that?
taken to task by Senator Biden.
When they said thank you, Vice President, he shut up. Kamala, she was like 30, 40 seconds past that. Anderson Cooper a little bit. I would have been like, hey, shut up. It's time for the next person.
Plan, which is banning employer-based insurance. We're not going to be able to admit that when Donald Trump is accusing Democrats of doing that as well. We need to be honest about what's in this plan. It bans employer-based insurance and taxes the middle class to the tune of $30 trillion. Do you know how much that is? That is 70% of what the
That's a good one.
collecting taxes
Clown to
for
clown
in 10
conversation.
years.
man.
We don't need to do that.
Governor,
We can
I'm
have a
going to come to you in a
public
second, but I
option
do
and
want to
universal health care in this country.
bring in Senator Harris because he just suggested you were not being honest.
We cannot keep with the Republican talking points on this. You gotta stop. The reality is that when you run Medicare for all
What is this, dude?
yes, employers are not going to be able to dictate the kind of health care
that's a good one.
employees get. They will be able to make that decision. Private insurance companies and private carriers, if they comply by our rules and play by our rules, will be able to.
Do you guys think that the DNC and the mainstream kind of like DNC-sponsored media want Kamala Harris to be president, or at least a nomination?
that employees want what their employer is offering only. They want choice, and my plan gives that.
I know, that's the thing I don't get about these debates is like,
You recently signed.
at a certain point, if you get pressed enough on almost any policy, you can get exposed. I mean, like, there's probably some part of your policy you haven't thought about, so it kind of backfires if you're always the focus. Like, eventually they'll get to the part of your policy it sounds stupid and you haven't thought out all the way. There's always going to be something. Once again, though, I mean, everyone's been talking about this, but like, dude, who's like the person I'm supposed to really get like believe in on stage? Aside from Yang, I love when Yang speaks, but like, I guess Tulsi. When Tulsi speaks a little bit, I'm kind of like, okay, I feel it, but no offense to Jay Inslee, but like, holy cow, man. Yeah, he could be literally laying out the blueprint to utopia, and I just be like, you know what? I'm not buying it. Yeah, exactly. He looks like Bruce Banner. It's like, I'm just not buying it, man. Like, it could be like the best plan ever. I just don't feel it. Got a little pop though. It's good. Yeah. Again, for those of you taking a score, Andrew Yang has not spoken since the opening introduction, so that's great.
And your mental health. And the last thing we're doing, I think it's very instructive.
This is the H20 edibles. Yeah, Lou, he's definitely. Hey, you know what? Denver legalized mushrooms, right? So maybe it was less than 20. Maybe it was a bit stronger.
In the United States.
Yeah. Tulsi looks like someone who could run a country. You know, she looks like someone who's like you could believe in a little bit in that level. Oh, hey.
Medicare for all system. How do you respond to Governor Inslee?
I just want to share a story. When I told my wife I was running for president, you know the first question she asked me? What are we going to do about our health care? That's a true story, and it's not just us. Democrats are talking about health care the wrong way. As someone who's run a business, I can tell you flat out our current health care system makes it harder to hire. It makes it harder to treat people well and give them benefits and treat them as full-time employees. It makes it harder to switch jobs, as Senator Harris just said, and it's certainly a lot harder to start a business. If we say, look, we're going to get healthcare off the backs of businesses and families, then watch American entrepreneurship recover and bloom. That's the argument we should be making to the American people.
Thank you, Mr. Yang. Mayor de Blasio.
Once again, you're that pop for Yang. He's got the crowd.
Are fear-mongering about universal healthcare.
Oh, what's up, David? I was doing Texas.
People, they are sick of what the pharmaceutical companies are doing to them.
Yeah, no, dude, Kamala. Like I said, I just had picked Kamala is so hard to actually like believe in, but Yang, he nailed it, man.
Coverage they need. They get a lot of no's. They don't get a lot of help from health insurance companies. Why are we not going to be the party that does something bold?
Something funny I've noticed going through all the polls. Bill de Blasio, like they always ask the question on these polls, like, so who do you have the highest favorability rating and lowest favorability? Bill de Blasio, like, they'll be like, maybe 2 out of 10 people or 4 out of 10 people said they knew who Bill de Blasio was, and he'll still be the most disliked. It's hilarious. It's, there's something about de Blasio people hate. I don't know personally, but people don't like him, man.
What he's saying is absolutely inaccurate about taxes. Americans right now are paying so much money for their health care. Ask people about the reality of premiums, deductibles, co-pays, out-of-pocket expenses. That's worse than any tax.
Thank you.
And people are paying that right now.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Senator Bennett.
I love how Andrew Yang's got his account set up to tweet out during the debate stuff about the debate. This is cool. This is a minute ago. This is published. The word automation. He's right, man. If he gets a chance to talk automation, that'll be pretty cool. Oh, sorry. You guys can't see. Hold up. There's the blue check. You know it's real now.
I wrote the damn public option bill is the guy who says it'll cost $32 trillion and that we're going to have to raise those taxes to pay for it. He says that. Republicans don't say it. Don't try to distract from the truth.
Thank you, Senator
You
Bennett.
can't hide from the truth.
I want to let
We
Mayor de
need to be
Blasio, and then I'm going to come to you, Vice President Biden.
Senator,
It's good, man. Honestly, he's going to be one of the most searched people again after the debate. He always will be, just because he's got radical ideas and people know who he is.
that they can depend on. If we say that, then there's an election. The American people get to decide. The ultimate choice, Senator, is an election. And this should be the party that stands for universal health care and says, we're not going to accept anything less. Right now in America, so many people don't have the health care they need. That is a fact. Tens of millions of people, including middle-class people.
All right, this obviously isn't the word of God, but this sounds to me like what a Joe Biden I have to imagine you show up to a Joe Biden watch party out of just kind of like well, like we gotta go, he's our guy. I guess we'll go.
No one has to keep the private insurance. They can buy into this plan, and they can buy into it with $1,000 deductible and never have to pay more.
Like seriously, why can't Joe Biden just say I like Obamacare and I think it's working good enough? Let's stay with it. Like, does he really need more?
It's a bunch of malarkey, what we're talking about here. The fact of the matter is,
Yeah. You know what? Mark, I think in my opinion, again, Trump discussion aside, low energy is probably one of the most damning things you could put on one of your political opponents. So one of these Dems got to bring it back. Call them low energy. Because how do you respond to that? If you are low energy, like, what do you do? Oh, no, I'm not. You are.
you do with California, but I tell you, that's
I like hearing Biden talk real life, though. You know, like, it's going to come out of your paycheck, guys, so, you know, pay attention. 'Cause that's right. Hey, again, I wish I was keeping a score. We have Kamala Harris and Joe Biden both on camera once again. So. I love it. Not just Harris and Biden again. They always make sure, because they're next to each other, to frame them up so they're both on camera. I love it. Thanks, CNN. I wonder who you want to win. Henry Rollins. Henry Rollins for president. Holy cow, that's funny.
Vice President Biden, your response?
Real quick. I have the only plan that limits the ability of insurance companies to charge unreasonable prices. Flat out, number one. Number two, we should put some of these insurance executives who totally oppose my plan in jail for the 9 billion opioids they sell out there. They are misrepresenting the American people what need to be done. And lastly, here's the deal. The deal is, let's figure out how this works. Immediately are able to cover.
Sorry, I was trying to see what kind of hat she was wearing.
To get off of their insurance plan they don't like, no matter what one it is, and buy into a Medicare option. And they can buy the gold plan, and they're not going to have to.
It's sad, but like, yeah, that basically sums the debate up so far.
To immigration, please. Secretary Castro, do you think
Yeah, Teresa, CNN.com.
across the U.S. border
Not on YouTube. Don't go to Twitch or YouTube. They're pulling us down.
Jay Johnson, whom you
However, CNN.com, you can watch live.
that is a public declaration that the
Yeah, exactly, Skylab. They've been talking the same healthcare policies they've been independently pushing for years
if you elect me
for 30 minutes now.
you're not electing me to follow. You're electing me to lead. And open borders is a right-wing talking point. And frankly, I'm disappointed that some folks, including some folks on this stage,
I like Castro bringing out the classic
only way
that is actually funny.
we're going to
That's the classic Bernie Sanders line. You know, open borders is the Koch brothers conspiracy. That's classic Bernie Sanders. I think it's funny he's bringing it out.
1325 of the Immigration Nationality Act. That is the law that this president, this administration is using to incarcerate migrant parents and then physically separate them from their children. My immigration plan would also
I honestly don't know why. I guess you could almost say the reason why it seems like the DNC wants Harris so badly is the same reason. Like I couldn't tell you why from like a neutral perspective. You can't watch it from ABC, from YouTube. Sorry, I believe because CNN having exclusive rights chose to be uncharitable. And they are broadcasting it exclusively on their website. There's actually a little bit of controversy at the time because I believe it was C-SPAN and Fox were actually denied access to broadcast the debates. So CNN said, everyone's going to our website. Harris, you know what? Harris caters very well to the I don't want to say Silicon Valley, but like the Northern California elite types. They love her. Again, yeah, C-SPAN was blocked from doing it. CNN told C-SPAN, sorry guys, you can't do it. Not gonna happen.
11 million undocumented people that
No,
are
Cardin just walked in.
would pass the most progressive DREAM Act that had ever been conceived, much less passed on the floor of the Senate.
See if I can sneak him on camera so you guys can see him.
Border security.
We'll be passing like Bigfoot in a second. Oh, he walked past the camera. You guys don't see him. There he is. Like there's the Bigfoot shot.
Thank you, Senator.
That is our position.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Harris, you have indicated that you don't think it's
I know. Okay, I was looking forward to more people talking about Michael Bennett after the Yang thing, and dude, he gets up there, he's all eyebrows, and he just blah blah. Oh, dude, it sucks.
I went to a place in Florida called Homestay.
Exactly, Mark. That's
There is
I don't.
detention facility.
It's a weird example, a weird comparison, but it kind of reminds me. I remember when I was taking some anthropology classes. We were talking again. They're talking creationism, and she's like, "Why can't you just say that like maybe creationism was, or maybe evolution was the plan of God?" It's like with some of this healthcare stuff, like why can't you just say it's good to have healthcare for all, but there could also be private? Like why can't there be both? Why is it just sorry if private insurance isn't good, it can't exist? Like I don't know. I don't get it.
On gender, being walked into barracks.
Yeah. For any of you guys who wonder, I believe Kamala Harris sent one person a day to prison for marijuana possession or sale. One person a day. Now she wants to legal. I know I sent 1,000 people to jail for something I now want to legalize, but whatever. You can trust me. I'm Kamala Harris. It's weird. It's weird stuff, man.
In the end, that we agree with. There's not a single person on
Eyebrows back on camera, man.
Who, if we were president, would ever separate a child from their parents at the border. And that is what this administration.
Yeah. No, I mean Harris. I mean, there's the one video of Kamala Harris, man, that always bothers me a lot, and it's she's on stage, and I think it's like a Chicago event, and she's like laughing, like, we don't need to build more prisons. I mean, more schools. We need more prisons still because you can't even feel safe without lock. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of weird to just say. Like I've never heard anyone say it like unironically, we need more prisons. Like, not like we do. Like, I don't know.
Well, the other thing too is that see, Kirsten Gillibrand and Kamala Harris actually, they scare me more than Bernie Sanders, because if Bernie Sanders became president, you'd know exactly what you were getting. You would be getting his ideology, and his ideology is socialism, and there's predictable failures in socialism. However, with Gillibrand and with Kamala Harris, you don't know what you're getting. You're only getting what the loudest leftist mobsters are tweeting that week and what's popular, and there's no predictability in it. They are so completely willing to sell out their values and what they stand for that I feel anxiety over the thought of them being president.
Hey, are you ready for the Biden-Harris show again? I can't wait. Hold up. Let's see how long until Biden and Harris are both on camera again. How long do you guys think? 10 seconds? 20 seconds? Oh, wow. They went to just a Biden shot. Let's see how long it takes. This is the second time, man, from the crowd.
Please continue, Mr. Vice President.
I mean, but see, this is the left eating its own now.
The fact is.
See, I'm so happy to see this happen.
What are they saying? Do you guys know what they're saying?
For years, the Democrats have used and pushed these kind of protesters that interrupt the conversation.
What are they
and
saying?
And now it's eating them.
Did anyone catch what they were saying? I thought I heard deportation, but I couldn't tell what they're. Did anyone hear?
Oh no.
We have people that make those decisions quickly. $750 million for Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras.
Yeah, no, I don't know who these. Yeah, exactly. Like what? Also, holy cow! There seems to be lax security. I mean, they just kind of turned around and said, "Please stop," and then they didn't, and they said, "Well, please, please stop," and then they didn't. Yep, there we go. And anyone want to see a picture of Kamala Harris? There we go. So there's her girl. There's our girl Kamala. Hey. Oh yeah. When is anyone gonna push Joe Biden on the Obama administration's use of drone strikes in the Middle East? I remember being alive 7 years ago and thinking, wow, that's weird. We just drone strike people we're not even at war with all the time. I wonder why we do that. Oh, and the CIA does it too, so it's not even technically the military.
Legal immigration system, because we do have a problem with that. Secondly,
I think the early protesters, Booker, during the opening statements, they were saying something. I believe they were talking about the police officer in the Eric Garner case in New York. Yes, I believe that's what they were speaking of. I think they were saying it after. I know. Isn't that crazy, Vignesh? When they say, "Mr. President, your time's up," he'll stop like mid syllable. Done. Move on. Harris just kept going and going and going. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you. Best CNN is where you watch the debate. They are taking that and they are running with that, man. That is. You're going to CNN.com if you're watching the debate. I'm just gonna hold this image until Kamala talks about immigration, so you guys can see. I will say, you know what? That's one of the, as far as her looking like a personable, regular person smiling, that's one of the best pictures ever. She looks like a normal person.
Our hearts break when we see those children at these detention facilities who've been separated from their parents, when we see human beings crowded into cages in abhorrent, inhumane conditions. This is about leadership and understanding that we can and should have both secure borders well as humane immigration policies. We will have to stop separating children from their parents, make it so that it's easier for people to seek asylum in this country.
I know. God, the way they have Tulsi lit's ridiculous, man.
So that people are able to use our legal
It's like they have a camera. It's like they have a light pointing directly at her chest. So it's ridiculous. Man. Hey, here he is.
Here as a graduate student and generated over 65 U.S. patents for GE and IBM. I think that's a pretty good deal for the United States. That's the immigration story we need to be telling. We can't always be focusing on some of the distress stories. And if you go to a factory here in Michigan, you will not find wall-to-wall immigrants. You will find wall-to-wall robots and machines. Immigrants are being scapegoated for issues they have nothing to do with in our economy.
Thank you, Mr. Yang.
Once again, guys, Yang's getting the biggest pops, and he's getting chances to speak. It's all good.
Does that mean that the roughly 55,000 migrants currently...
To be frank, Drippin, I'm not exactly sure about Tulsi's Second Amendment stance. I know Andrew Yang's a little more strict than I like, but I don't know. To be frank, it's an amendment. I'm not too worried about it. I don't think much will be done about it, but
I'm listening to the language of my colleagues. No, Mr. Vice President, we are not going to just let people cross the border. An unlawful crossing.
I'm glad Kamala and Biden are both on camera again. That was really good, guys.
Or if you do it through the criminal courts. But the criminal courts is what is giving Donald Trump the ability to truly violate the human rights of people coming to our country who no one surrenders their human rights. And so doing it through the civil courts means that you won't need these awful detention facilities that I've been to, seeing children sleeping on pavement, people being put in cages, nursing mothers, small children. This is not necessary.
Yeah, Tulsi's got a... I mean, again, though, it's another one of those debates where it's like, oh, yeah, I forgot. Tulsi and Yang are here. You know, like, I'm seeing more Michael Bennett and his big-ass eyebrows on them, so... Again, you know what, though? I hate having to do this, but Cory Booker, I want to drop out of the race, because the more I read about Cory Booker personally, I want to like him, but, dude, I will never vote for this guy. He's got weird-ass policies, but the more I read about the personal end of him, I want to like him. Just drop out of the race so I can like you as a person, you know?
The process is a real process, and this president is ruining it. It has nothing to do with that section of the law. That's what he's doing, number one. Number two, we should, in fact...
Just for reference, the Obama administration, which Joe Biden was a part of, was one of the chief immigrations when it came to deporting people from the United States of America. So, yeah, exactly, Spartan. I'm so tired of the someone gives an argument. Well, I knew a woman once, and she was a good person. But it's like, dude, I don't care about this person you knew once. Can we talk about policy?
And by the way, anybody who crosses a stage with a PhD should get a green card.
All right, sorry guys. Until Kamala talks about immigration, I'm not taking this picture down. I just want to, and they're going to Jay Inslee, unfortunately. That's something I do think needs to be talked more about, though, Mark. Is I think if they can prove the child is related to the parent, there might be a bigger argument for keeping them together. But I do believe that, yeah, we have to make sure that this isn't nefarious stuff. Because, dude, like, it sucks, but, like, people will use kids as shields. They do it all the time. Drug traffickers do it, so I don't know.
Stand up against Donald Trump's Muslim ban. I'm proud to have sued him 21 times and beat him 21 times in a row. I'm ready for November 2020.
Go ahead, Mayor de Blasio, please, your response.
2 points. One, it's all kind of a charade because there's 11 million people here, and everyone in theory has broken the law, but they're part of our communities now. They're part of our economy. They're our neighbors. Why are we even discussing on one level whether it's a civil penalty?
Does anyone know how tall de Blasio actually is? I remember the first time I saw James Comey when he was walking in a picture. I'm like, dude, he's 7 feet tall. He's like a giant. That's like the one thing I remember about him still, that he's just this massive human being.
Vice President of the United States, I didn't hear whether you tried to stop them or not using your power, your influence in the White House. Did you think it was a good idea, or you think it was something that needed to be stopped?
The president came along, and he's the guy that came up with the idea, first time ever, of dealing with the Dreamers. He put that in the law. He had talked about a comprehensive plan.
Did de Blasio just attack Obama? Is that just what happened?
No, he attacked Biden as a vice president
Of who?
of Obama. Well, see, here's the weird thing, is it's like, de Blasio, I get that you're saying, oh, these 11 million people are here. First off, it's a lot more than 11 million. And yes, most of them have integrated into our society. But that's... we have
6'5"? Damn.
Yeah, we have 11 million people here illegally, with it being criminalized. Imagine what's going to happen when you decriminalize it and you give free health care. I mean, there's no excuse not to. You'd be stupid if you didn't come here from a third world country.
No, yeah, I mean, again, though, it's one of those things. This is one of those. Oh, Tulsi, cool. One second. Here's what Tulsi has to say. Tall but stupid.
Putting a Band-Aid on this problem, fix our legal immigration system to provide them with that pathway to legal residency or citizenship so that they're no longer treated as second-class citizens in this country.
The hilarious part is people are probably analyzing the white pantsuit that she's wearing, whether or not it's racist or whether or not it's in solidarity with the women who wore white to the State of the Union address.
She just pops compared to Kamala, I think. Kamala looks drab. She pops. No, that's the thing. That's the thing. Esports. I feel the same way. Like, this is one thing that I know you guys. I know a lot of you guys probably don't like either of these people, but Ann Coulter brings this up a lot, and I can't argue with her. She'll take an article about immigration numbers and say things literally wouldn't have been worse under Hillary Clinton. Like talking to Trump voters, and she's got a point. Like, yeah, like things are so bad right now as far as there's just like bad conditions because we've let it get out of control. I don't think it matters who's president at this point. Like, there's so many issues with the border. There's so many, and like Tulsi I'm glad Tulsi brought it up. Like, holy cow, bringing people into this country to live as second-class citizens that, we could deport you, but we probably won't. It's crazy. Like, there should be more. I don't know. I'm done. I do think Tulsi picked a good choice of wardrobe. She looks great.
That's what he did. Has to be done. Much more has to be done.
Senator Booker, please respond.
Well, a couple things. First of all, Mr. Vice President, you can't have it both ways. You invoke President Obama more than anybody in this campaign. You can't do it when it's convenient and then dodge it when it's not. And the second thing is
Paul Ryan.
Dude, they are just ganging up on him.
Biden?
Yeah.
Well, because Biden is the front runner for literally no reason. He just is. So they're attacking him. And I apologize.
No, he's vice president. He's the highest. Yeah. He's the highest elected official. So, I mean, it totally makes sense that he's the one with the biggest amount of.
What's the policy you attack him on? Obamacare?
What are you telling me?
Some here came against their will. Others came because they, in fact, thought they could fundamentally change their lives. And they did.
Dude, look at all this fake outrage.
That's what we're talking about.
This is epic.
I'm sorry, you guys watching. You have to look at this picture of Kamala. Until Kamala speaks, I'm not taking it down. God dang it! I want that up when she's talking. And Coulter for diet. Hey, you know what? She is definitely a skinny woman. That is true.
President Trump, under his administration, 7 children died in his custody. Under his administration.
Oh, I forgot Gillibrand was here. I gotta admit.
How many foster children have died without Democrats giving a crap about them because they don't get extra votes?
Well, you don't get extra
more
votes
than
from
7.
anyone.
We used to believe in this country you should treat others the way you want to be treated. We used to believe in this country.
Like,
You'll never know. You'll never know what we're pointing at.
Does anybody
The third man.
Okay, this is what I really want to know. Okay, I know we get on here and it's fun to criticize and it's fun to joke around about these other people who we politically disagree with. But I can politically disagree with Bernie Sanders and at least see that there is authenticity there. Like, he genuinely thinks, without any scientific evidence, he genuinely thinks that socialism will solve all these problems instead of make them worse, right? All these others, it is such fake outrage. Like, does nobody see that this is acting? Like, has nobody gone to 7th grade theater productions? Has nobody seen some 9th grader struggle through iambic pentameter in drama class trying to fake that they're, Hamlet contemplating suicide when it really only seems like he's constipated? I mean, this is so inauthentic. Is anybody believing this?
Well, they've done a better job tonight of speaking more about I don't say a better job, but they've just talked about other stuff at least. They were talking a lot about earlier on. They were talking a lot about healthcare early on. But a lot of the stuff, like, I know this is gonna sound a little bit hypocritical, but like some of the stuff that they were talking about on healthcare was so like just inside baseball, back and forth about stuff that we don't even know if they're gonna be able to pass the way they're presenting it. And like, well, her plan as proposed, not as passed, and same with yours. Like, it's ridiculous the way they're arguing about, like, well, if you look at Clause 5 and Section 6 of our healthcare plan, like, it's such a weird avenue of debate for me.
Well,
I don't know.
They're
I don't get it.
They're strangely vilifying Biden as this. I mean, you literally think we're at the Nuremberg trials, and we are interviewing an officer of the SS that we just caught and dragged out of Paraguay or Argentina in 1960. Okay. I mean, he's a retail politician. He'll smile at you if he doesn't like you. But at the end of the day, I mean, he's kind of your typical 60s, 70 Democrat that got further and further liberal throughout the Obama years. But his rubber doesn't stretch so far that he's willing to be a Bernie Sanders. I mean, that's it. And they're literally lambasting this cat as though he is Satan in the middle of a church court. And I got to tell you, there are far more average Democrats, most registered Democrats. The reason probably why they're voting for Biden is because they feel like they identify most with him. I bet you, regardless of skin tone, regardless of income, regardless of geography, the average moderate Democrat probably feels like Joe Biden articulates their feelings on politics the best, and they've seen him the most. Therefore, he is going to have the highest poll numbers, and most people are going to identify with him. So what is the strategic advantage of just cutting this man down? I see why you would want to differentiate yourself from him, but when you go after the person I identify with, you kind of go after me. So all of these candidates, by choosing the low attack road of Biden, are really attacking the very people they're going to be asking to get votes from in November. Am I wrong?
Well, it's the thing I think more with the whole like attacking Biden line of thought is more along the lines of, dude, Obama is still very popular. To be frank, like when I see Obama speak now, I'm like, God, I wish he was running. I would be way more aware. I'd love to see him running in comparison to people running instead. So I think it is
Well, would
there
you
are a lot
though,
of Americans.
or would he just be? Because all of these people sounded like Obama 8 years ago, and it wasn't until in 2013 when all of a sudden Bernie Sanders authors a bill of Medicare for all, and he starts beating that drum, and all the SJWs start beating that drum, that all of a sudden, less than 6 years later, we have an entire stage full of people that are like, oh, I've always been for Medicare for all. Okay? So I'm sorry. I don't believe that Obama wouldn't be selling out just like Kirsten Gillibrand. I mean, who isn't selling out on this stage right now? Hickenlooper? Yang
isn't. Tulsi isn't.
Well, yeah, they're not letting Yang speak.
No, he spoke as much as he did last debate, realistically.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. They're not bouncing
no,
questions
but
to
the
him.
last
They're not
debate was 3
him.
hours. This has been 45 minutes. So,
Okay, yeah, that's
it's
true.
been better.
I'm just saying, after what happened with his mic getting shut off, if I were CNN, I would make sure that he was one of the first 2 questions.
They actually screwed up with his audience. His mic was too hot. There's feedback. This is an audio issue again.
Better citizens. That's the essence of what my plan in detail lays out. I'm happy to discuss it more in detail if the senator wanted to. And so I looked at it anyway. That's what I think my plan. I know what my plan does, and I think it's not dissimilar to what the senator said. We should be working together.
Oh, look at this fake bromance.
Senator Booker, your response? Well, my response is that this is a crisis in our country because we have treated issues of race and poverty, mental health and addiction with locking people up and not lifting them up. And
no, we haven't. In California, we let more prisoners out than we put into prison. I mean, like, it's a clown show here in California. A clown show. Run by Kamala Harris, a clown show.
Well, not anymore. Formerly, yes.
And this is one of those instances.
Hey, check out the stream. Check out Mrs. Harris. This is my opinion of Mrs. Harris.
Dude.
Abolish ICE. JK, when I'm with them, they're my besties, but but
Yeah.
now abolish them.
So inauthentic.
You know what I will say though? This picture serves as a reminder. I forgot it's been up there for minutes. I apologize, guys. It's been minutes since Kamala spoke. She dominated the early bit, but it's been minutes now since Kamala spoke. Let Kamala speak, huh? You want to hear what Kamala Harris to say?
Vice President Obama, I want to give you a chance to respond. The fact is that the bills that the president, the future president here, that the senator's talking about are bills that were passed years ago.
Did he just call Cory Booker the future president?
Did you see Cory Booker's face? Cory Booker was like, "Oh yeah, thank you, oh, Mr. Biden." I like that though. I like Biden, being friendly. That's a friendly, court thing to say.
You had a police department that was.
By the way, I understand that the rules have changed in terms of men and women in contact and things like that. But also just that interaction right now with Cory Booker, to me, just shows how Joe Biden's a very affectionate, touchy-feely guy. And I'm 100% for women being respected and things like that. But that right there just to me shows how naturally he's just a very affectionate, passionate guy. And you can't lambast him too hard.
It's no secret that I inherited a police department with massive problems.
Okay, sorry, I just got stopped mid-sentence because I was trying to think of what Cory Booker was saying and what the thought I was thinking.
National standard setting accountability. Mr. Vice President, I didn't interrupt you. Please show me that respect, sir. We have a system
That's
right now
baloney. That's bull jive right there. He was treated more cordially by Joe Biden than anyone else has treated anyone in either of these debates, and he gives them that. Oh, excuse me, sir. Come on. Fair to that Booker.
the bill that got passed into law that reverses the
Booker
damage
T.
that your bills that you were frankly the correct.
All right, cool. So if Cory Booker's Booker T, then who's Joe Biden's wrestling avatar? What professional wrestler best embodies Joe Biden?
Biden is what we call a secret racist, just like Reagan. Oh, I don't know if I agree with that one.
Again, I want to just keep
Reagan signed amnesty.
Yeah, well, but
I mean, come on, man.
actions and thoughts don't always have to align. Sometimes we do things.
Dude,
for
Reagan
different
was
reasons.
a wide open. He's an actor from Hollywood. He was the first president to invite a gay couple
No
to the
one's
White
Ric
House.
Flair, Dylan. No one's Ric Flair. There's no one running for president that's Ric Flair. You know what? Some of you guys might hate me for Donald Trump's the closest person to Ric Flair currently in the
Wait,
the
are you
election.
talking about the wrestler, Ric Flair?
Of course, the wrestler. Woo! Sorry, I clipped my audio, guys. Sorry about that.
And see the reforms that we put in place. The New Jersey head of the ACLU has said that I embrace.
Speaking of clipping audio, holy
Oh,
cow, you hear that?
He's saying the ACLU.
Oh,
endorses
Fire
him.
Rocket, the audio is going to be very low on our stream. For the debate, it shouldn't be low for us speaking, but for the debate, reason being, CNN will come take us out. They'll send some gentlemen to our front door in a black van, and you'll never hear from us again.
No,
so.
seriously, they have interns that are doing manual flagging of anything that's live stream debate. And if
No,
you have
Twitch was. People were telling me before. Twitch was just like expunging them en masse on Twitch.
Oh yeah, dude, all of these social media platforms are just getting flooded by hard copyright strikes by CNN. And even if they're not valid because we
Biden's
are
John
doing even if they're not valid because we're actually doing original content, it takes 10 days to fight the strike. Then CNN has 30 days to respond to the strike, and then there's like another 14 days where it gets adjudicated by Google. So they'll take you off of live stream for 60 to 90 days, just summarily as everything gets sorted out in their internal courts. And then if you want to sue them, you can, but it's just absolutely not worth it to risk it.
You know what, dude? I will say, Knight, my time is now. That would be any candidate who walks on stage to my time is now, dude. Oh my God, can you imagine that? Dun, 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 dun. You walking on stage, people would love it, dude.
I like Skylab. He says, oh wait, no, not Skylab. Mark Garrett says, tough on crime destroyed the African American community? Question mark. Really? Question mark. No, horrible economic policy did. That's what did. The war on poverty, trapping them on welfare, redlining. That's what gutted and made the black community so vulnerable to the cocaine crisis. And then they continued.
Jay Inslee, remember him?
Who?
Jay Inslee. Yeah, who?
Oh, yeah. No,
exactly.
I
Who?
No, he said one good thing in the last debate.
Yeah, but speaking of, though, I believe Yang is now the furthest person who's spoken. Like, it's been longer since Yang spoke than anyone, I believe. And Kamala. I've had this picture up for like 10 minutes, dude. Where's Kamala?
Dude, they're not even doing reaction shots on Yang, though. Just look at that.
No one's mentioning him.
I mean, I've forgotten where he is on the stage even, because everything is
Well,
tight.
he's
close
next to
shots.
Kamala, who they also aren't showing.
Yeah.
Your response, Governor Inslee? Well, that it's much more than that, because what we see, and this was a good example.
About 2 hours of debate left, too, I believe. So, time.
The Department of Justice not going after.
And that's a good point, man. If they want to screw Yang over, don't even put him on camera so you can see him moving.
Chokehold that was prohibited by anyone.
Honestly, Zach, Marianne spoke very little. I think she was second least. She just, every time she spoke, it was a soundbite, So she has that.
Dude, I want Marianne.
Yeah, Kamala is hiding from the border. That is hilarious. Yeah, I put this picture up when they were talking about the border and crime because I was like, oh, dude, I wonder when they're going to bring up Kamala so I can. And she's not spoken. Kamala has not spoken at this. That's funny.
But it's because they're protecting her. It is obvious CNN wants Kamala Harris. It is so plainly obvious that CNN wants Kamala Harris. Would you agree or disagree?
I do
They're
think it is
doing
Kamala.
all-
I do, no, dude. but
they're
you-
doing all these puff
What you
pieces
missed
on her
before,
history.
when you
Okay.
missed before when the debate first started, the first 10 minutes of the debate, every time I looked away from the stream, it's Kamala and Joe Biden. Even if only one's speaking and they aren't even speaking to each other, both on camera. So yeah, that is the preferable. Yeah, Yang came. So far, guys, a little Yang recap. If you guys joined late, yeah, it came out very strong. Got a huge pop with his opening intro. Has been asked 2 questions since then. I thought he answered the healthcare question very well. Typical Yang, Oh, sorry. I thought De Blasio was Yang for a second. If they're even, I hope they are, Tony. I hope we get. It's been a while since we heard from Kamala, so maybe, right? But sorry, Fire Rocket. If you want to hear the debate better, go to CNN.com. Otherwise, if we have the audio too loud, they will take us away. So
Yeah.
apologies for that.
38,000 people. Number one. Number two.
Yeah, Tulsi also hasn't had much time.
Changed the rules that police engage in. They had that. We provided for body cameras. We made sure that there were a lot of things that were changed in the process. But 38,000 people in the federal system were released.
Look at how angry these people are.
The fact is
I don't say anger, but
I mean, no, but honestly, I think a fair criticism of the Republican Party after their horrible loss in what was it in 20? It was the midterm election, I think, of 2016 or of 2012. They did that famous forensic study on the
were we
Republican
quiet
Party
for you guys?
and why. They did the famous study of what Republicans need to do in order to start winning back a lot of seats during the midterms. And it was basically, don't be such angry old white men. And, Yang's talking. Yang's talking.
When I say I would trust anyone on the stage much more than I would trust our current president on matters of criminal justice. We cannot.
Okay,
Biden clapped.
Not beating Donald Trump in 2020. I want to share a story that a prison guard, a corrections officer in New Hampshire said to me. He said we should.
New Hampshire, it's a big state.
referencing New Hampshire.
Because we spend so much when they're behind bars. Right now, we think we're saving money. We just end up spending the money in much more dark and punitive ways. We should put money directly into people's hands, certainly when they come out of prison, but before they go to prison.
Thank you, Mr. Ian.
Oh,
Gillibrand, you heard
Another pop.
Mayor de Blasio respond to Secretary Castro on the
dude,
question of why
that was such a dismissive.
Sorry,
thank
Henry,
you.
you're not going to be able to hear the debate very well. It's because CNN will pull the stream down. So if you want to hear the debate, go to CNN.com. We're just kind of doing a live reaction along with you guys. Just talking with you guys during
Dude,
the debate.
Defang Duana totally had it right. CNN shut him down the moment he said give money to them. Like, look at how dismissive Jake Tapper is.
Let the mic pop.
Because you have a video. When you know he said I can't breathe so many times over and over again.
Oh,
No, he used
Gillibrand's attacking De Blasio on the thing the protesters were talking about before. That is hilarious.
But as president, I would make
Oh, is Pac-Man's Twitch still up? Good for him if it is, man. I heard they took... If anyone can give me an update on the Trihex status, I'd actually be interested in hearing whatever happened to Trihex on Twitch, but that's good for him if he's still up on Twitch, man.
been quite critical of Vice President Biden's
Hey, Kamala's speaking, everyone!
Dude,
Here's our
Tony,
girl, man.
CNN is food for the swamp.
having benefited from busing when you were a young
Oh,
child.
I just want to highlight before Kamala speaks that they did, as people have pointed out in the chat room, they entirely avoided her. So she never had to speak about ICE and immigrations and customs and the border and what her opinion is of what's going on there. So good for her, right? She got to not answer a difficult question. Love it. I love it. That's my president right there.
Oh, she's going after Biden hard.
She doesn't speak for 20 minutes. She just comes back and attacks Biden. There we go. That's my girl. That's my girl, Kamala. Holy cow, man.
Completely on the other side of the aisle. And let's be clear about this. Had those segregationists their way, I would not be a member of the United States Senate. Cory Booker would not
What
Is
about
it?
Andrew Yang?
Yeah.
Again, there's like this. They just pretend that like Asians are not like another like minority group. They're like 5% of the population, dude. Oh my
Dude,
god.
Over 70% of Asians in California are registered Democrats, and they get completely overlooked by the Democrats. Like this is why these minority communities need to do an Ethan Smith switch. Ethan Smith literally brought up the best point. I believe it was at Brown University where he went. And he said, how can we complain that we're marginalized when we give all of our votes to a party that no longer feels like it has to work for us? If we would switch and register to the other party, they would not only feel like they could get our votes, so they would cater to us, but then the Democrats would all of a sudden feel like they had to cater to us in order to win our votes back.
The Civil Rights Division of the United States Department of Justice said charges should have been filed, but this United States Department of Justice usurped, and I believe it is because that president did not want those charges to go forward, and they overrode a decision by the Civil Rights Division of the United States Department of Justice under my administration.
Yeah, you're right. Harris did just get like a 5-minute opening to speak about the issues that she's able to do better on than borders and. Oh, hold on. I lost the picture. I'm sorry. I lost my girl's favorite picture.
Hey, where's that one where they
I
photoshopped
showed
her
it
head
earlier.
onto
Yeah.
the? Oh, that
I
was
showed that one.
hilarious.
I'm trying to find it again. I would legalize weed and mass pardon on 420. All right, this is my boy.
I didn't see a single solitary time.
Oh, I got an idea of some fun, guys. Hold tight 1 second.
Secondly, she also was in a situation where she had a police department when she was there that in fact was abusing people's rights. And the fact was that she in fact was told by her own people.
He said in fact
that
3
her
times in
own
like 10
staff
seconds.
that she should do
It's a good
something
fill
about
word.
it.
You don't know what to say. In fact, in fact, in fact, in fact.
That you in fact have been.
He said it again, in
police
fact.
officer did something that did not give you information that would exculpate your client. She didn't do that. She never did it. And so what happened? Along came a federal judge and said enough, and he freed 1,000 of these people. If you doubt me, Google.
Look, he just kind of says thank
Okay,
you.
guys, here. Look, if you want to look at the screen, this is the Google search trends for Andrew Yang over the course of the debate. Up a second. And then in a second, we'll compare it to. Hey, by the way, if anyone's keeping tally, it's Kamala Harris and Joe Biden on camera again, once again.
I am proud of the work we did, work that has received national recognition.
Yeah, national recognition is being a joke. She jailed so many people. How can you say that you're a civil rights advocate when for non-violent marijuana crimes, recreational use, you put thousands of men to the tune of an average of 1 or 2 per day behind bars? Your grandfather was a Jamaican slave owner, if I'm not mistaken. And you're acting like you're Martin Luther King 2.0 2019? Come on.
You took issue with Senator Harris confronting Vice President Biden at the last debate. You called it a, quote, false accusation that Joe Biden is a racist. What's your response?
I want to bring the
Oh,
conversation
Tulsi's back.
to
Good
the
for her.
criminal justice
That's
system.
constitutionally illegal.
Unfortunately, negatively impacting black and
That won't
brown
stop him,
people
Skylab.
across
You can
the
still
country.
say it on stage. Yeah, I can't do it, but, you know, I brought it up. What's the big deal? So who cares if it's impossible? I brought it up. I said I might do it. You know, what's the big deal?
There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations, and then
There we
last
go.
when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana, she
Oh.
Hear that pop too? People are like, yeah, that's a good point. Hell yeah.
freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She
Ouch.
kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them
Because she
as
cares
cheap
more about her
labor for the
record,
state
not
of
about people.
California.
She cares more about winning than about the policy she has to espouse in order to win.
Well, what's Kamala gonna say to this?
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response?
Dude.
As the elected
She got a pop.
Attorney General of California, I did the work of
Oh, she was working with Mr. Brown, sleeping her way to the top.
Now this is pre-prepared speech mode. This is her.
Work.
This is when our campaign staff says, "Be ready for this question," and she's like, "I got my speech."
or be in a legislative body and give speeches on the floor, but
See how her
actually
pop
doing
is.
the work of being in the position to
It's
use
like
the
watching
power
wrestling.
which
We're
forms
calling
a
it
system
pops
that is
now.
badly in need of
Same thing.
reform. That is why we created initiatives that were about
Wow,
getting
guys.
former offenders and getting them counseling. It is why
Hate to show this, but it's real. Kamala Harris, despite Andrew Yang speaking, Kamala Harris is just blowing him away.
Well, because they're giving her all the airtime. Of course people are going to blow her away because they're
Yeah.
fact-checking. Oh, did she really put 1,500 people away in prison? Oh, did she really
That's a
end
good
up?
point.
You know,
Good point.
I don't know if all
I
those
guess
Google
if they're
searches
looking
are
up
good.
is she as bad as we thought she is, that's not good for her. But
See, when you Google Andrew Yang, good stuff comes up. When you Google Kamala, bad stuff comes up.
Until you are forced to do so, there is
the crowd's on Tulsi's side. I believe I'm with her. I'm with Tulsi as well. They're on her side.
You owe them an apology.
Senator Harris?
Oh, now Senator Harris is the racist that owes people apologies.
Personally opposed to the death penalty, and that has
Or not the
been my
racist,
position.
the
And I dare
anti-deathist.
anybody who's in a
Whatever.
position to make that decision, to face the people I have faced, to say I will not seek the death penalty. That is my background. That is my work. I am proud of it. I think you can judge people by when they are under fire, and it's not about some fancy opinion on a stage, but when they're in the position to actually make a decision.
She doesn't like fancy opinions on stages.
Of having to decide whether or not to seek a death penalty on cases I prosecuted, I made a very difficult decision that was not.
She's got really nice hair. I wonder what product she uses. That is shiny.
Shows that, and I am proud of those decisions.
Senator Harris, thank you very much. Senator Bennett, a question for you. Why are you the best candidate to heal the racial divide that exists in this country today, which has been stoked by the president's racism?
Don
Bennett.
Lemon.
Give the question to eyebrows over here. Really?
Enough grounds for everybody in this country.
Yeah, exactly. It's got Michael Bennett like him.
One thing alone should be enough.
Oh,
What
and
did he say?
Trump bad, I think.
Don, I want to answer your question by tagging on the conversation we were just having. This that we have had, and the second time that we have been debating what people did 50 years ago with busing, when our schools are as segregated today as they were 50 years ago.
Oh, there's our schools are as segregated today as they were 50 years ago. Like this isn't based in reality.
Well, I mean,
This is not based in reality. Go to the elementary school 1 block away from me.
Kingsley and Mike Bennett.
Let's go to the elementary school 1 block away. All right?
Oh yeah, exactly, Mark. Well, someone eventually brought it up, and just said, "Huh, that's weird, Kamala. Did you know like you did all this really bad stuff when you were Attorney General? Did you know that? Did you know that, Kamala?"
Okay, I got a question for our audience. Does anybody actually believe that? When Mike Bennett comes out and says our schools are just as segregated as they were 50 years ago, does anybody believe that? Okay, I find that wildly intellectually dishonest because A, it either shows that all the legislation we pass doesn't work, so we shouldn't try it, which is a libertarian argument. Well, I'm not saying that's a libertarian argument, but I'm saying
Another pop for him.
yeah, that only shows that our legislature is if things haven't gotten better. And second, it's not statistically accurate. Everybody claims that Republicans are science deniers because they don't like socialist economic policy whipped into every bit of climate change legislation. Yet there's an absolute dearth of any factual proof here. This is pure religious dogma. Like, I cannot believe this. The Democrat Party has become a false religion that is punishing people who don't believe in it like the Catholics did in the Inquisition to the gypsies. I mean, this is nuts. It is factually incorrect that our schools are just as segregated as they were 50 years ago. Blatantly, patently, factually false. And I challenge anybody to show me any evidence that suggests otherwise. Else, why would Kamala and Corey and Yang, because we actually remember Asian minorities here, you know what I'm saying? How could they even be on the stage? This is insanity. Okay, what am I supposed to look at, Cody? You're pointing something at me.
Sorry, let's see if you can see it. I thought it was a funny meme.
Okay, I'm trying to catch up on our viewers. What did they say? Oh, what's the funny meme? It says, "You're the only bee in the house that I ever respected."
Shout out to one of the greatest reality television shows ever recorded. I believe, hold on. God, I feel dumb now. I believe that's Flavor of Love. I Live in New York is also very good. Watch them. There were former VH1 productions. So
Okay, go back to what the people were saying when I was talking about the Michael Bennett comment.
the people.
The people have spoken.
A lot of no's. People didn't agree. Yeah.
The fact is that our current system, okay, access to quality, okay, yeah, well, that's fine. It's definitely fair to say that there are still communities.
There isn't government segregation
Yeah,
anymore. You could argue that there's been social segregation. Oh, hold up. Yang speaking.
New Orleans, and I saw that the racial disparities are much, much worse than I'd ever imagined. They're even worse still. A study just came out that projected the average African-American median net worth will be 0 by 2053.
Whoa, he just came up with
How is
math.
that possible? It's possible because we're in the midst of the greatest economic transformation in our history.
Season the narrative. I love it.
It's going to displace hundreds of thousands of call center workers, truck drivers, the most common job, including this one. And you know who suffers most in a natural disaster? It's people of color, people who have lower levels of capital and education and resources. So what are we going to do about it? We Just go back to the writings of Martin Luther King, who in 1967, his book Chaos or Community said, we need a guaranteed minimum income in the United States of America. That is the most effective way for us to address racial inequality in a genuine
Minor
way
pop.
and give every American a chance in the 21st century economy.
Mr. Yang, thank you very much. Secretary
Big pop, dude. People love him.
Okay.
After the president's racist tweets attacking Baltimore and
Don Lemon.
Congressman Elijah
After the
Cummings,
president's
Air
racist tweets,
Baltimore
when did he
slammed
stop
said,
beating Melania?
and I quote here,
No, I love that. Andrew Yang talks about, like, did Martin Luther King talked about this, and this is how we fix that. Not just the black community, but we lift up all communities. Okay, anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Donald Trump's tweets. Like, God, really, man? We can't talk about stuff that people care about for more than 30 seconds?
Dude.
And then Donald Trump's tweets, they're abhorrent. I don't like them. Like, we can't talk about
Like,
policy for
but-
5 seconds, man, really?
Well, this is the other thing that blows my mind is you'll notice that so far everybody has said Orange Man bad. Everybody has said America racist bad. Everybody's been ripping on, literally like an evangelical pastor rips on sinners, has been ripping on America. But the only time we got a substantive fact was when Andrew Yang said, it's actually true that the average African American net worth will be 0 by 2030. He's the only one that actually came out with a measurable quantifier of which we can begin a debate on policy. Like, I mean, this, does nobody else see this? I mean, these guys are acting like America is the freaking games, you know, worse than it was in 19... You have to have some positivity here. You can't be the party of love and positivity. You know, we need Marianne Williamson back. She needs to do, like, a little intervention with each one of these people. Because they look like just a bunch of angry old white people that are faking Spanish or have just been completely tainted by the angry old white people. The only person that...
Gillibrand, forgot she was here.
Oh, man, she would sell you down the river for $1.
What? I can hear you.
Oh, she would sell you down the river for $1?
Oh, yeah. Apparently she can play beer pong. I'll reference it forever. That's one of the most shocking ads I've ever seen from any politician ever. She literally drains a shot in beer pong. Like, better donate. I made it. Like, what? I'd like to know my president could drink other leaders under the table, but I don't want them to run on it. You know what I mean? Like,
drink on.
Like, I'd like to know they could do it, but just don't run on it. Don't make it like part of your campaign.
And none of them would do any of this if they actually got elected.
Would or could, right? Like, sometimes you just can't. Like, they, Senate, House, whatever, won't let it.
Let's now turn to the issue of the climate crisis. The United Nations says the world needs to cut all carbon emissions by 2050 or risk facing disastrous consequences. Governor Inslee, many of your fellow Democratic candidates say climate change is the biggest...
He looks like a cop,
That's a good point.
doesn't he?
Yeah, no one ever actually said, oh, excuse me, Mr. Yang, how would we pay for $1,000 a month for everyone? They just don't mention him. It's like, oh, Yang, that guy, I don't know. That should be updated a little bit, right, Joe? I think it's gone up a few seconds because he spoke again since then. He had that last little good diatribe after, but it's still low. He's probably still on the bottom 3.
You know, Mark Garrett says making climate change number 1 priority is a great way to lose in 2020. You know, climate change isn't something that should be ran on itself. It should be integrated as a responsible stewardship of our natural resources, and be a part of every policy that's a secondary aspect of policies. It shouldn't be the number 1 thing you're running on, or else you're right, you're going to lose. People care about being able to feed their families today more than they do about figuring out whether or not we're in global warming or global cooling.
Sort of middling, average-sized things are not going to save us. Too little, too late.
Here's Jay. You know what? I will say Jay Inslee's got pretty good bone structure as far as like cheekbone to jaw.
Dude, wouldn't he be a great cop? He looks like Dolph Lundgren's
Great
younger
cop.
brother. He looks like Dolph Lundgren's younger brother. I mean, he would easily be the chief of police of like, Los Angeles. Of course, Los Angeles wouldn't accept him.
Like in a Stallone
but-
movie or something.
Yeah, I'm saying like he easily Dolph Lundgren v. him. This could be like, Rocky 7. And those thick glasses are so 1960s. I dig it.
Middle ground about my plan. The fact of the matter is, I call for the immediate action to be taken.
Okay, I got a question for our audience.
One of the things that we're responsible for
Obviously, besides Yang, because we got a lot of viewers.
Oh, hold up, really quickly. I want to bring something up.
Okay.
Sorry. The first night, it was John Hickenlooper who had the least amount of time to speak. Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders clearly had the most. I will tell you guys as soon as I use another web browser to access the New York Times article so I could read it, who has currently had the most time to speak tonight in the least amount of time. So I just want to bring it up.
Okay.
Oh, I got it. Hold up. It's loading, but I got it, guys. In 1 second, the suspense is killing me. I hope it's killing you.
The important number in Vice President
Oh, here's Yang.
remarks just now is that the United States is only 15% of global emissions. We like to act as if we're 100%, but the truth is, even if we were to curb
Oh, I
emissions
love that.
dramatically,
Yeah.
the Earth is still going to get warmer. And we can see it around us this summer. The last 4 years have been the 4 warmest years in recorded history. This is going to be a tough truth, but we are too late. We are 10 years too late. We need to do everything we can to start moving the climate in the right direction, but we also need to start moving our people to higher ground. And the best way to do that is to put economic resources into your hands so you can protect yourself and your families.
I was challenged by the vice president. Maybe you heard on this for a moment.
He literally
Dude,
said
I
we
love
have
that answer. That's like that's like word for word my answer on
Well,
climate
that
change.
didn't seem foolishly alarmist to you. We need to move to higher ground. I mean, that's
No,
like
no, that
Al
was
Gore
metaphorical.
saying
that
that.
was metaphorical.
Yeah, but that's like Al Gore saying, "Oh, by 2014, Manhattan's gonna be
No,
underwater."
but he was metaphorical. He wasn't saying literally hide you higher ground, but like people need to get to higher ground.
Okay. That seems like pandering to me, man. I like Andrew Yang, but that seems like pandering.
That was metaphorical.
I think Andrew Yang's going to do better by differentiating himself from the Democrats and appearing more moderate than trying to be just as alarmist as the rest of them
He
are.
did. That's the moderate response to climate change. Well, you know, I know it might sound crazy, but the United States actually isn't the only country in the world.
Yeah, how about you guys are
There's
knucking
other countries,
futz.
so we have to worry about more than
Well,
our
what do
country.
you say, Cody? You always say, look, until somebody's willing to go to war with China and India over the 2 coal factories that they build every single day, I don't want to hear people saying that we hate the environment or that we need to run to higher ground. I mean, there's so
No, but
much
he
more to
didn't say you
climate
have to run
change.
like, it was metaphorical. He was speaking on the lines of like, we need to bring people up, and if we bring people up, then they'll care more about climate change. It's exact. It's consistent with his message. It's hard to care about the climate when you're like, how do I pay my rent? You know, and he's saying, let's address that first, and we'll be working on it. I think it was allegorical or metaphorical, whatever word you use.
Look what T-Pin Mivy. Oh my gosh, I can't see it very well because it's in gray. No, go down. Biden just needs to retire and go enjoy his money and be the elder who advises us.
No, yeah, that's not bad. Andrew's a Yang. I guess, yeah. Does Andrew Yang tell his Silicon Valley friends when they build bunkers, like, you know, guys, once climate change takes over, you're gonna be trapped underwater in those bunkers. You need to
Yeah.
build sky bunkers.
I mean, I have to agree with Governor Inslee, and I'm going to just paraphrase one of your great sayings, Governor.
It's still ain't nice.
We currently have a president in the White House who obviously does not understand the science. He's been pushing science fiction instead of science facts.
Science fiction is the Democrat Party.
Not all of them, but some.
Well, not Yang.
Not all of them.
Democrat on this stage over the current president of the United States who is rolling it back.
Hold on, isn't that a hold on? Can someone correct me? Wasn't it Andrew Yang who, when asked earlier, said, "Well, I would take any candidate on the stage over the current president." It's literally word for word with Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Does anyone else remember that? That he literally said that word for word. That of all the people on stage, I trust them more than the president. And then Kamala's like, "Ah, crap, you stole my line. Whatever, rolling with it anyway." That is funny, man. Right? Did anyone else hear that?
We are such a wealthy country. If all of these rich kids can be so detached from the reality of real life and have these views and opinions sustained for so long that they actually make it to elected office and then make it to the debate stage. This is beyond a clown world. This is a sadistic clown world.
Honestly, man, we were talking tickets in one video. If it ever happened, the Andrew Yang, Marianne Williamson ticket would be a sight to behold, man. I don't know who would be president, like who would actually be commander-in-chief of the two.
They would probably split it, and they'd have like a meditation every morning as to how they could peacefully engage with the world.
Just make like that's like their platform.
Like, but does anybody else not see how insane this is?
Well, dude,
the
I
AOC
think, hold
comes to
on.
Congress. AOC comes to Congress, and because of her Twitter following, all of these people now feel like they have to embrace a foolish, a Green New Deal that basically says our bill is we will cure the world's problems. You know, that was the Green New Deal. And then Medicare for all is basically, our bill is that we believe everybody should get health care, so we're just going to give it to them with no reality check involved as to how it will
Green
be
New
paid
Deal,
for.
Tulsi Gabbard.
You can imagine, I grew up in Hawaii, which is the most remote island chain in the world. So for us, growing up there, protecting
Citation
our
needed.
environment was not a political issue. It's a way of life, part of our culture. It's part of who we are. This is why, as a member of Congress, long before there was ever a Green New Deal, I introduced the most ambitious climate change legislation ever in Congress called the Off Fossil Fuels Act. That actually laid out an actionable plan to take us from where we are today to transition off of fossil fuels and invest in green renewable energy, invest in workforce training, invest in the kinds of infrastructure that we need to deal with the problems and the challenges that climate is posing to us today.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Booker.
Wow, guys, they just threw the talking time up live tonight. It's whatever.
Take first of all a step back and say that I agree wholeheartedly with Governor Inslee. It's one of the reasons why Greenpeace ranks me and him at the top of this entire field of the candidates on climate.
Second was close. You just close.
I want to say very clearly, thank you, man. Thank you. I'll try harder. Look, the reason why is because, first of all, this problem didn't start yesterday. Science didn't become a reality yesterday. This has been going on for years. There was another president that would not join an international accord. Then it was the Kyoto Accords. I was mayor then, and I stood up and nationally.
That is funny. Yeah, every time Andrew Yang, and well, this is where like though Andrew Yang. I remember I read an article. I think I tweeted about it about a week ago, where Andrew Yang said that basically he's going to talk about retail apocalypse, freedom dividend, and why I'm different. So far, he's brought up retail apocalypse. He brought up Kyoto. Somebody tweeted at me the other day. I thought it was hilarious, and they said that they're like, if Beto thought that like 20% of Idaho or Iowa was Chinese, he'd be taking questions in Mandarin. And yeah, like some of these candidates, man, you feel like they just like look up on their phone. How do I say this in this language? It's ridiculous.
Okay, Vignesh Balastrum. I can't see it in the gray. It's too far away, but I can see the black where he says, everyone knows that, quote, international agreements, end quote, mean nothing.
How is Tulsi not more popular in the polls? There's a lot
She wasn't well known before she ran for president. That's why. Cory Booker was.
A lot of bad information about her as well. I'm not saying objectively bad.
Oh, yeah, because they
but
hammered
I mean
her
negative,
for her dad's.
Yeah, negative articles. So I mean, yeah.
Look, he's like, oh, I'm so tough. I'm really concerned about these people. I'm so concerned.
De Blasio, the most hated person running. The polls show the most disliked person running is Bill de Blasio. So, yeah, but look at this though. We have the live tally up right now. Wow, I wonder.
Who's
do you
on
think
bottom?
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris maybe like? Do you think maybe the plan is to have Kamala Harris attack Joe Biden and then have Joe Biden talk so much he exposes himself and make himself look bad?
You know,
do you think maybe that was the plan?
If you don't see that this is absolute corporate shilling, you're crazy. Now look, they're obviously not taking Andrew Yang seriously. They're not giving him any hardball good questions. But also, Andrew Yang needs to step it up. I'm sorry, but if he's going to be making some waves, he's going to have to make some of his own waves if he wants to surf. He's going to have to just interject and get out of his comfort zone, man. Because right now, other people are a lot more in their comfort zone, and they're getting helped by the media. I mean, this is a perfect example. Andrew Yang has some really, really good ideas. I disagree with some, but I agree with a lot of them, and they're really, really good, and nobody else is talking about them, and there's never a time in American history when we've needed to think out of the box more than right now, and we're too busy trying to figure out who can call America more racist instead of figuring out how in the future we're going to be able to pay our bills. I mean, right now, what is happening to Andrew Yang is the microcosm of what has happened to the Republican Party over the past 40 years. Absolute dismissal from the media, nothing but partial and or negative press when it does happen, and fighting an uphill battle. Why? Because you're a smarter guy that's possibly a little bit more reserved, and the system needs to work to incentivize these people to speak and to lead. But right now, it just incentivizes clowns. Like, we didn't win. We didn't elect Donald Trump because half of America is racist. We elected Donald Trump because our society awards loud clowns right now, and he was the loudest person online that could make the biggest noise and had the most celebrity. We have a celebrity obsession culture right now, and our celebrities are not demure, kind, nice people like the actors of the 40s and 50s. They're not intelligent people that we looked up to in the 60s for spiritual wisdom like the Dalai Lama and things like that. No, they're psychos. They're psychos that just say the craziest reality TV crap, try and get the most amount of attention. I mean, seriously, can Jake Paul get up there? Can Paul Logan just get up there, please, and compete with these people?
Let's take it in. Can I do a formal poll on this? I don't know if I can. If I can, I'll do it. How many candidates on stage today would you guys vote for Jake Paul over? I'm just wondering. Because I have to admit, a lot of this stuff, like, it gets to the point where it's just like I have no confidence in X or Y or
Zach
Z.
Bozeman said Paul Logan. Vast Game Master said Yang is the only realistic person. Actually, I definitely agree with that.
He's the one I believe in when he speaks. Yeah, like the rest.
Well,
of these
no,
people,
I
it's like,
believe
okay.
I believe Bernie when he speaks.
Not anymore. Not the way I would have 4 or 5 years ago. Now I hear him speak and I'm like, it's still like DNC compliant.
I'd say he's still more than 50% believability. I believe him
He's
more than
better
half
most.
the time
He's better
when he
than most,
talks.
but there's still a little bit of like.
Well, actually, no, and I
I
kind of believe Biden. He's defending himself.
We invested significantly in this transportation.
Are your policies ambitious
Mr.
enough?
Beast on Yankee.
Look at this. Oh, this is
that would be
perfect.
hilarious. Mr. Beast, I give 5 people $1,000 a month for 6 months. Check it out, dude. That would be. He should do that video. Someone should reach out to Mr. Beast and say, "Hey, Yang's stealing your platform."
Look at this though. This is a perfect example of why Trump will win in a landslide in 2020. The question was, are your policies ambitious enough to energize progressives to help out your campaign? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but the progressives have gone nuts. Okay? That's like saying, I mean, right now they're not catering to the voters to win the general election. They are catering to the SJWs and the Twitterati in order to perceive themselves as the most leftist in order to win the election, but they're going to all damage and bruise themselves as having endorsed pseudoscientific ideas and policies, and Trump will absolutely destroy them. The only thing he needs to do is say, hey, do you think the government should outlaw your car and force you to take the subway? No. Well, this guy thinks that you need to outlaw your health care and be forced onto a public option. Okay, Young's up. I want to hear what he says.
Vice President Biden. Why are they wrong?
Well, I'm building a coalition of disaffected Trump voters, independents, libertarians, and progressives. I believe I'm the candidate best suited to beat Donald Trump. And as for how to win in Michigan and Ohio and Pennsylvania, the problem is that so many people feel like the economy has left them behind. Well, we have to
he's got to hit harder.
Look, there's record high GDP and stock market prices. You know what else are at record highs? Suicides, drug overdoses, depression, anxiety. It's gotten so bad that American life expectancy has declined for the last 3 years. And I like to talk about my wife who's at home with our 2 boys right now, one of whom is autistic. What does her work count at in today's economy? 0, and we know that's the opposite of the truth. We know that her work is among the most challenging and vital. The way we win this election is we redefine economic progress to include all the things that matter to the people in Michigan and all of us, like our own health, our well-being, our mental health, our clean air and clean water, how our kids are doing. If we change the measurements for the 21st century economy to revolve around our own well-being, then we will win this election.
Congresswoman Gabbard, your response?
Again, the pop, dude. Woo!
He's got a pop. But what he really needs to say is, look, you're famous right now because people have heard. I'm sorry. You're ahead in the polls right now because you're more famous and it's early. But you're not actually getting a coalition of disaffected Trump people, progressives, Democrats, Republicans, internet superstars, so on and so forth. I'm getting those coalitions. And also, you're going to have to win all of the Rust Belt. You're going to have to win all the swing states like Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Ohio, so on and so forth. And right now, they are the states that are posed to lose most jobs to automation. And I'm the only guy talking about that.
Tulsi's doing good.
Here in this country, people in communities like
Can't get a drill pen.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Booker, your response?
I'm grateful, Jake. Look, this is one of those times where we're not staring at the truth and calling it out. And this is a case for the Democratic Party. The truth will set us free.
Oh boy, is this his Spartacus moment?
Because everybody from Republicans to Russians were targeting the suppression
Booker. I know, dude. Cory, like I said, I don't like.
We need to say that.
Oh yeah, so you think Donald Trump won because of voter suppression? Donald Trump stole more African American votes than how many Republican candidates before him. He shaved off more African American votes than that is factually incorrect. You cannot say that he was elected because of voter suppression when he was taking in droves African American votes.
Thank you, Senator Harris.
First of all,
Back to Harris. So here we go.
making a whole lot of promises to working people
Let's
that
see.
he did not keep. He said he was going to help farmers. He said he was going to help auto workers. Farmers are now looking at bankruptcy.
Some of my favorite things to watch in any election, the candidate saying the president, when they were candidate, promised things they couldn't deliver. It's like, yeah, you're right. Candidates promise things that as presidents they can't deliver. Now, I agree with you, Mrs. Candidate for President Kamala Harris, that when you're a candidate, you could make these statements and promise things you can't do as president. That's why it's really important that, like Andrew Yang, you detail point by point how you'll do the thing. Because it's easy to say you will. Like, for example, when Donald Trump said he'd make Mexico pay for the wall, that was one of those things that everyone said, what? How? And he did it. You know, like, no, you're not.
Joe Kane just said Booker looks like Mr. Potato Head. He does always have big eyes like that. I have noticed that. He's always got like really popped out eyes.
That Gabbard, Commander-in-Chief, that I agree. Commander, like, as much as I love Andrew Yang, if one had to, run the country, hold on, I'll spare you guys the commercials. 1 second.
Yeah, hold on. We got to turn that cheese down. Is it a commercial for Kamala Harris or is it a commercial for Joe Biden? I think it's a commercial for Kamala Harris.
It's a commercial for the Studio 54 thing
Okay.
they're doing, I think.
Well, we've got a little moment here in between. We got a little moment here.
Hold
in
up. By the
between.
way, I want to look at direct you to the screen. You can see currently the live updated as of now. Joe Biden leading by about 2.5 minutes over Kamala Harris, who has a about 3-minute lead over Mr. Cory Booker. Somehow Kirsten Gillibrand did. I don't remember much of it.
He's getting more than double.
Jay Inslee, he spoke for 7 minutes, 41 seconds. I guess I remember the bone structure. I remember eyebrows getting 629. Gabbard and Yang at the bottom.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let me
wonder
put my.
why Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang at the bottom, right? Like, you'd think, why would Julian Castro speak more than Andrew Yang? Why would Michael Bennett, who Andrew Yang was taunting on Twitter, speak for about a minute longer than him? I wonder why.
Dude, hey, here's the other thing. I want all of the SJWs in our audience and all the progressives and all the liberals and all of the self-proclaimed Democrats to look at that graph again. Is that graph back up, Cody? Of the time?
Oh, yeah, it's always in the stream, sorry.
If this were in time is a resource. In elections, a resource. And if this were any other resource and was graphed out this way to show that, this person is getting this much of this resource. This person is getting this much of this resource. This person is getting this much of this resource. We could totally say that this entire system is racist against Asians. Because
dude, Kamala Harris doing that again was hilarious. Remember when that happened again?
What?
That was hilarious. Kamala Harris was like, if things were the way they were 50 years ago, Cory Booker wouldn't be on the stage. I wouldn't be on the stage. Just moved on. I'm like, what Andrew Yang? Like, it's kind of like, if you, I don't necessarily 100% agree with. I mean, if things were the way they were, she's correct, but they're not. It's just so weird that she would just not include Andrew Yang. It's like, I mean, I believe Kamala Harris is also Asian. They're both Asians.
Now
Asian American,
Yang,
same as Andrew Yang. It's so weird that you just leave him out. I don't know.
Now Yang does have to step it up, and he's gonna
Most
have
of
to.
they're on Adderall. If they're not on Adderall, they're on Xanax. I've been. No one agrees with me on this. I don't care. I'm sorry. I got to talk about this. We have a right as American citizens to know what psychoactive medications our representatives are on, and I'll say this forever. We have a right to know. Are you on Xanax every day, all day? No. If you are, no big deal, no disrespect. I just want to know. Are you on Adderall all day, every day? I just want to know. And I think I have a right, if I'm elected you to represent me, to know that. I don't know. Sorry, that's my weird, unpopular opinion for the day. So I won't bring any more up. Biden would need it too, man. If anyone needs Adderall, it'd be like Joe Biden.
Yang is economical. He doesn't waste his time on crap. That's funny.
I guess you're right. He's very frugal with his time. He makes it count.
I got to tell you, his answers are coming across rehearsed, though. I'm a little bit concerned.
Well, but in a good way. A good way rehearsed. Prepared is another word for that.
Okay, that's true. Prepared and factual. I definitely feel comfortable saying that he's coming across as prepared and factual. However, that's not where the Democrat Party is right now. This is not the party of reason. This is not the party of science.
Voters, though, are different than the reps.
I know, but I'm talking about, I'm hoping, I'm referencing the primary. And it is obvious that they are alley-ooping Biden and Kamala. Those are the corporate candidates. CNN is the corporate news network that is absolutely suppressing non-corporate candidates in favor of corporate candidates.
I think it's
This is for you. Wage growth is up. Stocks are rising. Unemployment is near historic lows,
Yeah,
including
thanks
for
to
Latinos
Trump.
and African
All right, we're back.
Americans. You have all outlined
I think it's funny they didn't do like a line shift like MSNBC did, you know, like after one of the commercial breaks, there was just different people there now. Like, and now our new moderators are like, oh,
First of all,
oh, cool. I didn't know where you guys came
there
from.
are a lot of Americans right now that are hurting. Just go and ask them.
Castro's getting a lot of time to
Notice
speak,
that they're
and
getting laid off.
I'm not talking conspiracy. I'm just saying here are events that have happened. Julian Castro benefited from the ruling from the DNC on the SurveyMonkey poll, which took the poll away from Andrew Yang. And you just saw, as I was speaking in real time, Julian Castro move into 4th most speaking time.
But look at how
in the
pseudoscientific this is. Can you guarantee raising taxes won't hurt the economy?
You know what that reminds me of? Ever seen the movie Team America World Police?
No. Oh, yes, yes.
I promise you, I will never, ever die, ever.
Ever.
It's one of my favorite lines ever. Because, yeah, you're obviously full of shit as soon as you say that. Because everyone eventually dies. Same thing. Yes, I guarantee raising taxes more than the economy. You guarantee it? Really? So what happens if you're wrong? What if you guaranteed it and it did hurt the economy? What are you preparing to give? Yeah, it's just funny. Like, you could say, I don't think it will. Look, I'm laying out why it won't. And I'm laying out why my plan should get around it. But I guarantee it won't. Big statement, man. We'll see. Again, another one of those things, very easy for candidate to say. President, not so easy. Can you guarantee it won't hurt the economy? Well, I don't think it will. It shouldn't.
Now to a question about trade and for Congresswoman Gabbard, many saw
Oh, back to Tulsi at the bottom. Not Andrew Yang, of course, who's spoken the least. Wouldn't make any sense to ask him a question. Might as well ask Castro to bump him to 4th and get Tulsi ahead of Bennett and de Blasio. But Andrew Yang, we'll get to you when we get to you.
Dude, Tulsi's pretty, man.
Yeah.
Dude, they should like, you know, like give her extra credit.
Extra credit. I mean, what's the classic what are you doing over there? You hitting something?
Yeah.
What's the classic story between Nixon and JFK, right? Where the TV viewer thought Nixon lost and the radio viewer thought he won because JFK looked better. He's a younger, handsomer man. That's like one of the classic political stories in American history. You know?
And there's never been an unattractive president that has won a general election ever since the TV was developed. There's never been a candidate that was better looking when polled that didn't win over the less attractive candidate since the television was invented. Yet there's been plenty of times before the television was invented that the less attractive candidate won.
Yeah. I guess Reagan was literally a movie star.
Yeah, dude, come on. Oh, he was a handsome, charismatic guy.
Yeah,
Come on.
like beyond that, literally a movie star. So.
Because the approach that
Bush
President
was an
Trump
ugly.
has taken has been extremely
I think W. Bush. I think W. Bush might have been one of the greatest. I think we call him beer candidates of all time.
Yeah.
Like he's one of like the top up there. Like if I had to have a beer with a candidate,
Won't go
he's
cow
up there with
tipping?
that. Yeah, but like, hey, dude, the story of him, 9/11, first game at Yankee Stadium after 9/11. He goes out to he goes out to the mound, fires a bullet to the catcher. You'd be surprised. Most people, when they do that, embarrass themselves. He didn't. So a lot of people liked him for that end. When they threw the shoes at him, he like deflected one and dodged the other. I mean, he was like, people liked him.
That we have with us, and this time make sure that there's no one sitting at that table doing the deal unless environmentalists are there and labor is there. And to make sure we equip our workers.
So environmentalists and labor run our country now. I mean, when Greg Gutfeld says that environmentalism.
I hope Yang gets to speak on this issue, right? Automation jobs, this is like his stuff.
When Greg Gutfeld says that environmentalism is where all the socialists went to hide when Reagan made it not cool anymore, statements like this 30 years later completely prove him right.
Please respond.
By the way, would you rejoin the Trans-Pacific Partnership trade deal? First off, I find that very gender biased and not neutral enough and disrespectful to the trans community. I don't know if the trans community has absolutely put their stamp of approval on this, I would be the best SJW out there because I could pick apart anything anybody says and make it racist.
Awful. No, don't do that. That's terrible.
No, I'm just saying that's what they do. Is they absolutely
There's
like take
words-
something
I know,
benign.
but still, you just gotta use words and be confident that you're using the word for the right reason. I don't care what you say. I know what I mean. You just gotta be confident what you believe, man. That's what I believe.
It was a joke, Cody. A joke.
Don't care.
the old NAFTA like it did to Michigan, and we cannot have Democrats be party to a new NAFTA. So, Vice President, I believe you're the only person on the stage who
Ooh.
voted for the original NAFTA. Are you ready to say here
Wow, there we go.
Because he was the only one that was around.
NAFTA and that what you will believe in?
Dude, CNN's not doing Joe Biden any favors. Like I said, I don't know about you guys, but I definitely feel like in a situation like this, the person who speaks the most
okay,
is at
hold
the
on.
biggest disadvantage. Whoever
Look-
speaks the least is not in a good place, but you want to be second, third. The person who speaks the most just gets exposed inevitably. It's going to happen. If you speak more than anyone else, the odds of nobody ever asking you a question. Kamala Harris, she tried to hide. No one hammered her on any of her issues till Gabbard said, oh, how about all this crazy stuff that you've been accused of doing, you know? By the way, I want to bring up Andrew Yang came out of this commercial break.
Oh, that was funny.
But still, Andrew Yang came out of this commercial break having spoken the least amount of time in the debate, and he's not been asked a question since they came back out of the break. So
I wish we could rewind and you could see Joe Biden's face
I
as
can
Bill de
rewind.
Blasio. No, don't rewind. But Bill de Blasio was attacking Joe Biden. You should have seen the look on his face. It was like, how dare you? I have shoveled so much crap for you and helped out your city so much while vice president. To have you turn on me on this stage right now, that was epic.
Dana, this goes to the last question you asked. As
Hey, the
well.
eyebrows are back.
How are we going to
eyebrows, man.
It's not just
Surprised
about
Anthony needs to call him eyebrows, man. I know, dude. It is once again there. I mean, like, I don't know. If you look at it from a different perspective, I could see a potential, like, I could see I don't agree with the argument, but I can see an argument for not having Andrew Yang and other candidates speak as much. And I think that's just their point, man. I disagree with it for sure, but that seems to be the position a lot of them are taking.
We've spent $5.6 trillion.
Yeah, well, also Andrew Yang, someone pointed this out. I wish I had the video. I feel so bad. I don't have it. I'll see if I can find it before I say anything else. Somebody posted a video where they went through the first night of debates and took all of the moments when other candidates mentioned something Andrew Yang speaks about. And that was one of the things they had pointed to, is that Andrew Yang was in, I believe it's Denmark, South Carolina. I want to say Denmark, South Carolina. That's also having water issues. And Andrew Yang was there. And Marianne Williamson was like, I was just in Denmark, South Carolina. And Yang was there like 2018. Like, he's like, yeah, I've been there.
We could have made Social Security solvent for my children.
Thank you, Senator.
But we did none of it because of self-serving politics.
Eyebrows just blowing past the thank you, Senator. Biden, I mean, Biden's trying to lead by example, you could say. They say thank you, Vice President, and he's like, okay, I'm done.
Mr. Yang, women
Oh, Mr. Yang.
on
Women.
average earn 80 cents, about 80 cents.
This is a
per
setup
every
question
dollar
for
earned.
Yang. Holy cow.
Senator Harris wants
Mr. Yang, do you want to play identity politics real quick?
their gender pay gaps. As an entrepreneur, do you think a stiff fine will change how companies pay their female employees?
I have seen firsthand the inequity
And they show Kamala why?
world where women are concerned, particularly in startups.
They just show Kamala Harris for no reason.
More at every step, and if you're a woman
That was really weird.
entrepreneur, the obstacles start not just at home, but then when you seek a mentor or an investor, often they don't look like you, and they might not think your idea is the right one. In order to give women a leg up, what we have to do is we have to think about women in every situation, including
What a
the ones
question
who
for
are
Yang, though. This is
exploitative,
not his wheelhouse. Like, this is a setup question, I feel like.
around the country.
And
I'm talking about
it's
the
just like, when did you
waitress
stop
getting
beating your
harassed
wife?
at the
Good
It
answer,
is
but still.
pseudoscience. Audience, it is pseudoscience. Pseudoscience, this gender pay gap, okay? Pseudo freaking science. And the proof is Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren are only paying 71 cents on the dollar for all of their female
Holy cow, though.
employees.
Listen to that pop, dude. Once again, biggest one to get is him.
Work in our society, it will not change unless we change it. And I say that's just what we do.
Senator Harris, your response.
I mean, it's pseudoscience. The proof is
Which is this.
Obama only was paying 72 cents on the dollar. George Bush is actually the best for paying women a higher wage at 77 cents on the dollar. But it shows that there is a natural settlement that happens between the choices women make and the choices that men make, and it is reflected in pay, especially in union jobs, which are notoriously leftist, where
Yeah,
seniority is
I
involved.
love the response Harris gets from our audience. Everyone's just like, Not very kind. Because I mean, I've shown I'm not a big fan of Harris either. Just that I like that most people can see through her, man. You know what? Like I said, the reason why they're pushing her for president is because everyone sees through her. That's just the way the DNC works.
That'll get everybody's attention.
By the way, it looks like even counting Andrew Yang's last little bit, he's still spoken less than anyone else. So.
Help solve the problem?
Oh, let's bring Gillibrand in. Oh, please.
I think we have
Can't
to
wait.
have a broader conversation.
Yeah, I mean, a little story for those of you. A lot of you guys probably already know this. For those of you who don't, though, I believe it was at the first debate. Joe Biden actually pulled Andrew Yang aside and said, like, hey, like I hear what you're saying about like the you know, like the next industrial revolution and how important this stuff is, and I agree with you. We need to work on this together. So, Biden definitely does respect Andrew Yang's ideas in some level. I think that's a cool thing to point out. They will be fine. Yeah, dude. Harris is.
He also said,
The more they let Harris speak, the less good she looks, I feel like.
quote, avoiding responsibility. And I just need to understand, as a woman who's worked my entire career as the primary wage earner,
Here we go.
primary caregiver. In fact,
I like they're just showing.
my second
I like
son-
whoever's producing this, the candidates they showed a split screen with. Like they just show Kamala Harris when Yang starts talking before he says anything about her.
President Biden's analysis.
Oh, here we go, Biden. Bring him in.
My serving in Congress resulting in the deterioration of the family because I had access to quality, affordable daycare. I
Oh,
just
wow,
wanna
there we
know
go.
what he meant
It's a pretty
when
big,
he said
a
that.
pretty big slander on Joe Biden.
A long time ago, and here's what it was about.
Oh, hey, he's coming at her though. Good for him. Good for him.
People making today $100,000 a year tax break for childcare. I did not want that. I wanted the child
Yeah,
care.
I think it is one of those issues where if people just kind of drop like the kind of like talking point, like partisan, like women make X to the dollar of Y, and just said like there is still things we could do to improve the balance of genders in certain professions. Like I think people could get behind that, but yeah, when they just kind of come at you with something like I don't believe that's true, it gets weird. I
Well,
do
and
believe
also,
that.
this is a very strong defense by Joe Biden. I think it made Kirsten Gillibrand look bad. She attacked him as calling him anti-woman, and then he comes back and he says, "No, I was trying to make sure that low-income people got the child tax credit or child care tax credit, and I've been a single dad. Nobody on this stage is more qualified to understand what it's like to be a principal wage earner and a principal caretaker of children than me."
And that we are avoiding, these are quotes, it was the title of the op-ed. And that just causes concern for me because
Oh, here we go.
know America's women are
It's
working.
you know you
4
can
to
say it's
10
valid,
moms
but
have to
jeez,
work. They're the
jeez.
primary or sole wage
You
earners.
guys
The
weren't
actual
impressed with
employer
Kristen
pays
Gillibrand when she did all those relatable, likable things, you know?
Most women
You know
have
all
to
those
work
relatable,
right?
likable things she's done.
Many
Like
women want to be working to
I can't
provide
name
for their
one, but there's got to be some, right?
Let
So
the vice president
either you
respond.
don't
Thank
believe
you.
it today, or what did you mean when you said it
In the
then?
very beginning, my deceased wife worked, but we had children. My present wife has worked all the way through raising our children.
Yeah.
The fact of the
Gillibrand's got
matter
the
is,
look of someone who's like,
one that I don't know what's
I
happening.
actually don't know all the angles, but I just took my shot. I was like, maybe he can't prove me wrong. Oh wait, you can shoot. Uh-oh.
I came up with the It's On Us proposal to see to it that women were treated more decently on college campuses. You came to Syracuse University with me
Yeah. Where
and
are the
said,
moderators?
"There's
Where's
one
Jake
I'm
Tapper?
passionate about the concern,
I'm not
making sure
like a
that
crazy
All-
CNN
dude,
fan,
Joe
but Jake
Biden has
Tapper, I
helped
feel
out.
like at least does his job.
Joe Biden has helped out all of these Democrats.
Mr. Vice
Oh, snap. What did Biden just say?
I respect you deeply. I respect you deeply. But those
I missed it. I'm
words
sorry, guys.
are
If you guys put it in the
very
chat, I know what you just said.
specific. You said women working outside the home would lead to the deterioration of family. My
Huh.
grandmother
Harris
worked
again.
outside the home.
So
My mother worked outside the home. And
Thank
from-
you, Senator Gillibrand.
So, well, he has
I want to
either,
bring Senator Harris
either
into
he
this
no
conversation.
longer believes it. I mean, I just think he
I
needs
never
to.
believed it.
Thank you,
Okay.
Senator Harris. Please respond. Well, I just
Jeez.
listen.
Gillibrand.
What did Joe
Gillibrand.
Biden say that caused that pop?
I think it's basically that same thing. I was like, that's crazy. Like, that's not what I believe. People are like, great.
To withhold resources
None
to
of these,
poor
yeah.
women to have access to reproductive health care, and including women who were this.
Moderators
Why doesn't
are
Joe Biden
automated.
just come out and say, "Look, I understand all your campaign managers said you have to attack me because I'm ahead in the polls, but you're all looking stupid right now."
I know, like, geez.
Since you've been running for
I
president,
think, honestly, if he just keeps invoking Obama's name as much as I hate it strategically, it'd work.
Yeah.
Because honestly, even I was not an Obama fan, but even I'd be like, yeah, I'd rather someone like Obama was in office than people like these. Like you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather someone who was more like moderate seeming, at least frontwardly. You know, I don't know.
experience that those women have, those children have, and that they would then.
Yeah, I mean, again, I've had it up on screen for a while now. Joe Biden is coming up on almost 5 minutes plus speaking time on Harris.
Knows that's not my
Holy
position. Everybody
cow,
on the
man.
stage has been in the Congress, and the Senate or House has voted for
This is
the
a
Hyde Amendment
lot.
at some point. The Hyde Amendment in the past was available
I'd throw my phone away if Harris was nominated. You know what, dude? You know what? Like I said, Harris reminds me so much of Hillary in the sense that I hear so many people say, if she actually wins the nomination, I won't vote for her. It's like, dude, if I'm hearing that, these people got to be hearing the DNC. You know, like pick a candidate people want.
That could no longer stand.
Yeah, exactly, Vignesh. They bring up, like, you wrote an op-ed X amount of years ago, and he's like, okay, fine. It's so easy for me to denounce an op-ed than it is for you to, like, attack me.
Move as president to see to that the Congress.
Yeah, I know. I wonder what they're gonna say about the time distribution. Well, we had a time limit. That's why you can look and see how the people that are polling lower than everyone else are just speaking minutes below everyone else. I mean, debates are always like this, though, guys. I mean, they ignore people a lot. So yeah, it's everyone gets their shot at Biden, and Yang isn't taking a shot at Biden, so he's not getting talk time.
I would suggest we need to think about a bigger scandal in America, which is that in professions and careers where women have been more than the majority,
Here we go from
they have
Jag.
been almost always underpaid. And that is why this year I'm proud to be the governor who won the largest pay increase for our educators in the United States. And I believe that that is long
Pay teachers more. But this is what I mean, though. I think this is exactly what Andrew Yang says when he talks about identity politics are divisive. If Jay Inslee just said, we should pay teachers more because it helps people, I think I'd be like, okay, cool, I agree. But then he goes in this weird, like, well, I'm the only one who did this for X group. It's like, dude, why don't you say paying teachers more is good and I did it? I'd agree with that. So, yeah, I have no problem with that. You're right.
Yeah.
It's good to pay teachers more. I'm glad you did. So far, it has not been the star A+ performance from Yang. I do believe, though, when he's gotten a chance to speak, he's said things that have been effective.
And he's definitely used more math.
Booker needs facial hair. You know what? Anyone remember Ted Cruz when he put the beard on? It was like, wow, Ted Cruz, he's like a guy now. I think Booker, same thing.
In places like Afghanistan. And so I will bring our
So Defang Dewana says
and
Yang staying out of the drama is actually good. I don't know. I don't know if our culture rewards that right now, and definitely not the Democrat Party. I think maybe the average person in the general election would appreciate that, but you got to pass the primary before you pass the general.
Check this out. I'm going to throw up remember that? I don't know if some of you guys here earlier, you remember a Google Trends graph I threw up?
Yeah.
Kamala versus Yang. Look at its sense. There was that one moment when Tulsi attacked Tulsi attacked Harris, and everyone ran to search up, like, is this true? And then ever since, Andrew Yang's been about with her and peeking above her. I think that's interesting. That's something to take note of at the very least. I think that's worth noting. And Gabbard's moving up in the talk time. That's good for Gabbard.
My cousin is deployed to Afghanistan right
now.
Nearly 300 of our Hawaii National Guard soldiers are deployed to Afghanistan.
I like the way Tulsi Gabbard talks. She's very Hawaiian.
Members are deployed there. This is not about arbitrary.
She's also very like authoritative, you know. Like I believe her when she talks. I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. I like, I believe the things she says.
To bring our troops home within the first year in office, because they shouldn't have been.
Yeah, I think Yang needs to throw maybe one, not even like a jab, but because you could butt in respectfully. You know, I hear what the senator's saying, but I think there's a better way. You could say something like that instead of just saying nothing.
Yeah.
Yang needs an anime opening.
End these wasteful regime change wars and
What's that? Does anyone know? Oh God.
Yang for the win.
I'm afraid to say it, but there's the was it Fist of the North Star? Anyone I'm talking about? The classic meme.
Gabbard just harassed Harris. Oh, this is funny.
Oh, here comes Yang again.
Oh, Yang's up.
Foreign policy question. They're setting Yang up, guys. These Yang questions are not good. Yang. They're looking at every spot that he's weak and attacking him on it. Not attacking, but probing.
To de-escalate tensions in Iran because they're responding to the fact that.
Yeah, I hope he has been stepping up in foreign policy. He really needs to be. Oh my woo! There we go. Thank you. Who knows these sports? You know.
We'd have to try and re-enter that agreement, renegotiate the timelines because the timelines now don't make as much.
They asking about the Iran deal. Jeez, man, what a question for Yang.
Right now, our strength abroad reflects
another pop as soon as he says anything. It's good for him.
We've fallen apart at home, so we elected Donald Trump, and now we have this erratic and unpredictable relationship with even our long-standing partners and allies. What we have to do is we have to start investing those resources to solve the
so far,
right
it's a tough question for him, man. It's a tough question for Andrew Yang to get. So far, so good, but it's a tough question.
And conflicts that have unclear benefits. We've been in a constant state
there we go.
of
Good
war
point.
for 18 years. This is not what the American people want.
Okay, that was a good point.
Home. I would de-escalate tensions with
bring the troops home, man. Everyone runs and bring the troops home. Hate to say it, but it's true.
Governor Inslee, your response?
There's
I
some
think it's the
dedicated
yeah.
girls in the Yang gang there.
I think it's the same dedicated few, but yeah, dude, they're hearing it. Yeah, exactly. They're bringing it, man.
Primer for presidents to read. We have to determine whether
NFL head injuries. That would be an interesting. It's a tough one, man. Honestly, I look at it like boxing, man. It's crazy, dude. It's a dangerous game, but not much you can do about it. Yes, but again, thank you. Shout outs to Who Knows Esports. Exactly what I was thinking. I know. I'm always afraid of saying it wrong. Omaiwu Mushindaru. Special get out of me.
We need a president who can stand up.
Oh my God! Yang's done it, gang. He moved above. He's not the least talk time.
Vice President Biden, he was obviously suggesting.
And they didn't immediately go to de Blasio to rectify this. So very good for Yang. That might be the last 7:37 he speaks all debate, but
make a bad judgment trusting the president saying he was only doing this to get
yeah, good for you, man.
in and get the UN to agree to put inspectors in. From the moment shock and awe started.
What a milestone. It's true.
I was opposed to the effort, and I was outspoken as much as anyone at all in the Congress and administration. Secondly,
yeah, no, if Yang gets the jump back in before too long, he'll definitely move back ahead of, what, 2 or 3 people? Like, realistically, if they let Yang jump back in soon, he'll be above or with Gabbard. Which would be, again, ironic if Gabbard and Yang end right next to each other because they're treated so similarly, right? They got a lot of same kind of special treatment, so. It is weird how much time Gillibrand's getting. I don't really get it either, but I think she's just loud and keeps talking.
Congresswoman Gabbard, your response to what Vice President Biden just said.
We were all lied to. This is the betrayal. This is the betrayal to the American people.
No more Tulsi, cool.
To my fellow service members, we were all lied to. Told that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, was working with
we're talking.
Al-Qaeda, that this posed a threat
We're talking Operation Iraqi Freedom. What's going on?
9/11 to protect our country, to go after those who attacked us on that fateful
Okay,
day.
I'm with that. 9/11.
Thousands of Americans.
Why are we talking 9/11? I like Tulsi, but still, I don't get this line of answering.
Is continuing to betray us. We were supposed to be going after Al-Qaeda, but over years now, not only have we not gone after Al-Qaeda,
What? I don't know. This is a weird answer to me. The Al-Qaeda stuff started long before Trump. I don't know.
Supporting Al-Qaeda.
Thank you, Congresswoman.
Oh.
Let's talk about Iran. Thank you, please.
Oh.
Talk about Iran. We're on a march to war in Iran right now.
Wow. What a closing.
Mayor, thank you very much. We're going on and we're going to talk about another subject.
Wow. The wheels just fell off the debate right there. I don't know what happened. Tulsi says that Donald Trump's supporting Al-Qaeda, and then Bill de Blasio jumps in and just gets immediately shouted over by Don Lemon. That was bizarre, guys. I don't know what the hell's going on, but that was really bizarre.
Just last month.
Yeah, I think as well. Andrew Yang tried to say something, and it was immediately over by de Blasio.
And should go forward with the obstruction of justice.
Yeah, is Andrew Yang ever got platinum in StarCraft 2? If platinum is still the word for it, I don't know.
Prosecute somebody, but President Trump, not him.
Well, I would never direct the Department of Justice to do whatever
Oh, wow, here we go.
it should do. But
This is the stuff that really matters.
His testimony, I read the report. There are 10 clear incidents of obstruction of justice.
De Blasio, okay, de Blasio's yelling didn't move ahead.
I've seen people go to prison for far less. And the reality is that
Kamala came so close to being honest and saying, I've sent people to prison for far less. I wish she would have said that, man. I wish Kamala would have been honest. That would have been a great soundbite for Kamala. The president's not in prison. I've sent people to prison for way less than that. Shoot. I'll send people to prison for anything. Yeah, no type. Yeah, please, this is more from Kamala.
I've read the report. I've read the redacted
Here we go.
versions
Booker.
of the report. We have something that is astonishing going on in the United States of America. We have a president that is not.
Okay, I don't know what Corey's talking about, but
he's acting
here's
like
Corey.
an authoritarian against the actual
Exactly.
that he swore an oath to uphold. And so this is a difference with a lot of us on this debate stage. I believe.
Let's see. Let's check on the. So let's add. God, I just blanked on the name of the person I wanted to add here. Someone was speaking.
Wait.
Debbie Stabenow now has
Here's the two though. Yang and Kamala. Just pick two people. Andrew Yang is people are more interested in looking up. Of course, again, full disclosure, guys, probably because people don't know as much about Andrew Yang as they know about Kamala Harris, but still worth noting. I think it's interesting.
Like, does this work though? Like, just the constant, all they ever do is hammer Trump. And I'm sorry, but
it doesn't differentiate you at all. It's like,
yeah,
okay,
I feel
so
like
does other
I'm
people.
hearing a broken record. And it's like, okay, I get you all hate Trump. Well, now how are you going to help me pay my bills? How are you going to help my business grow? How are you going to help my children get better education? Nobody's talked education here. And that's always a top three.
Jay Inslee said he paid teachers more, but that was more about like a feminist thing. than
Yeah, it was more about saying
just
Trump's a
education.
bigot.
Yeah, well, at least I do more than my opponents. But yeah, it was kind of weird. Yeah, why aren't you talking education?
Specifically to prosecute or not prosecute. However,
There's a Bezos. Yeah, just in case anyone didn't notice, the CNN actually, strangely enough, they're hosting the debate. I don't know if you could have missed it, but in case you did.
I think it's obvious at this point in our history.
Oh, cool. De Blasio about to pass Yang and knock him back down to last. So, yep. Oh no, sorry, it already happened. Find Bennett now. Eyebrows.
Ooh, that happened in lifetime and it went right up there. Look at that.
Yeah. No, it's a real-time update.
Dude.
Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah, that's a good point. Next,
At least de Blasio has lost weight. He's looking more trim and fit. His wife is probably the only person that appreciates his candidacy because it's forcing him to lose weight and be out of the house more often.
The stimulants and alcohol. when you have a scotch for lunch and stimulants for breakfast, dude, you lose weight. Exactly, bro. It's the funniest thing to me. Here we go. Even de Blasio got that layup. Should we impeach the president? I don't know. Maybe we should just win the election against him, and then it's a moot point. Oh, let's hear Michael Bennett's stance on this. Thank you.
Hashtag CNN is trash.
It's a good point to Brian. Yeah, no one says anything about UBI. When Yang ends every answer by saying, and I think we should give every American $1,000 a month, no one ever says, well, excuse me, Mr. Yang. Again,
fashionably,
though, it could be just dismissive.
Fashionably Straight had a good comment. De Blasio doesn't fix the middle class or guarantee a Democrat election.
Doesn't.
From a strategic position, that's the best one-sentence description of the situation I've seen so far.
Like I said, dude, us against the world, nothing brings people together like that. You impeach Trump's base as president, you think they're just going to say, shucks, gang, guess we can't win. They're going to come out, oh my God, dude, they're going to come out stronger than ever. You impeach our president? Because they'll disagree. So it is. Dude. I think you just win the election, he's out of the White House, and then that's it. It's over. He's been defeated. You don't have to worry about anymore. Just win one election. That's it. I agree. I think if Andrew Yang were to get elected and Democrats or even if the House or anyone continue to push for Andrew Yang Donald Trump prosecution, very similar to I believe it was Jimmy Carter who immediately, I think it was Carter, whoever came in after Nixon, first thing they did was pardon Nixon. I'm not going to.
You're talking about Gerald Ford.
Yeah, sorry. They came in, you pardoned Nixon because basically I'm not going to spend my presidency arguing about what we should do with Richard Nixon. He's gone.
And everybody hated him for it, but it was a wise decision because he doesn't want to spare America from this. And Andrew Yang said, I don't feel comfortable imprisoning political opponents.
Yeah, do the same thing and just say, look, if he's in the White House, look, whatever Donald Trump did or didn't do, he's out of the office. Move on. We have to move on as a country. Easiest way to move on is to move on now. I think it's the best way of doing it. Oh, they dropped the Moscow Mitch in there. More audio problems too.
We have to walk and chew gum at the same time. It is incredibly unusual for members of Congress to be able to do that, and I'm glad that Secretary Castro has the.
My brother can. He's here tonight.
It's a good point, Mark. That was one of the things we used to have someone used to say, "Oh, you better watch out. They're going to impeach Trump's kids, or not going to. They're going to not impeach, subpoena Trump's kids, and they're going to send Trump's kids to jail." I'm like, dude, you realize that they have kids too. It's not like you get to just put Trump in jail and then issue clean. We get to move on. It's going to go both ways. Dude, these commercials, man, brutal.
Yeah. Look at this. I love it how, you know what? CNN is so self-congratulatory. It is so funny.
Captive audience. And they also maybe couldn't sell, either
okay,
didn't
so
want to sell
what are your
couldn't.
thoughts, man? What are your thoughts?
So far on the debate?
So far.
On the debate. Gillibrand, once again, is annoying, and I don't like her. Cory Booker spoke way too much for what he said. I do not remember a whole lot of what Inslee and Bennett said. I like some of what Bennett said. Yang is again in last place. Joe Biden has been forced to defend himself so much he's spoken about 5 minutes longer than Kamala Harris. And really spoken about 10 minutes longer than the average person. And I really don't think very many people have made a whole lot of good points. I think Gabbard finally made strong, fact-based attacks on Kamala Harris that we can look at the Google trends, and you could see the spike in the Google trends right there for Kamala Harris in search terms is when she was attacked by Tulsi Gabbard and said, what about when you did all this stuff? How about then? I'm going to talk about that. Aside from that, Andrew Yang, again, is speaking the least. Andrew Yang, of course, is also attacking people the least. So it's tough. I do like the points he made. I think I mentioned it during, but the questions he's been given, man, have been like, you're going to ask Andrew Yang about, like, oh, what do you think about, like, the wage gap between men and women? It's like, that's, like, not, I mean, I get, like, okay, we're not going to just ask you what you're, like, most prepared for. We're going to put you on the spot a bit, but then they ask him about, like, the Iran deal? It's like, really asking Andrew Yang about the Iran deal? Again, I get it's his weak point. You want to test guys, but they're not testing everyone on their weak points. They're giving people layups. Andrew Yang has not gotten one layup question. I mean, they gave Bill de Blasio the layup question where he's like, well, you know, if we win the election, to impeach. Like, Yang has only gotten things that are tough for him.
And the strange thing, if they're claimed to be liberals, if liberalism were actually part of the Democrat Party anymore, there should be an overwhelming desire to speak more about the single policy that promises to transform the economic situation of the poor overnight, and that is UBI. And there's only one candidate that's talking about UBI. If CNN were liberal, truly liberal, and not corporatist, but it's the corporate media, not the liberal media, if it were not corporate, they would be asking very specific questions. And if they really actually wanted him to succeed, or Democrats to succeed, they would discourage all of the ranting on Trump because it only riles up his base. And they would actually ask much more probing questions to Andrew Yang, like, how are you going to pay for it? Because if it were a liberal media interested in getting a liberal elected, they would want a strong liberal with strong tested answers in a debate format to go up against Trump in a substantive way. Because you're never going to out-personality Trump. You're never going to out-tone Trump. You're only going to be able to differentiate yourself from Trump. And if you really think he's the evil, big, mean gangster that you think he is, and you really believe that love trumps hate, then as Marianne Williamson said, kind of, you can't combat hate with hate. You can only combat it with love. Or in Yang's case, with math. Okay? So if CNN were really liberal, they would actually be asking probing questions that the populace has about things like the UBI, such as how are you going to pay for it? I mean, Andrew Yang hasn't really done anything else other than say, oh, well, a VAT tax that Europe has. Okay, yeah, well, you're not a monarch. You can't just sign an edict. So we still need to go to Congress. How are you going to convince Congress? Congress is Republican right now. Do you have Republicans that support this?
Well, Congress is and Senate is.
Sorry, the Senate is. But, you know, Republican enough that it could get stonewalled. So how are you going to do this? That's what a liberal would be doing. Oh, wait. De Blasio's up. Skinny De Blasio. I like him as a skinny guy. He's kind of, he's an attractive man when he's skinny.
American dream from everyone else. We
Yes.
can't let them get away with
America is holding the American dream hostage from everybody
that
else.
we can stand up to Donald Trump and we can stand wealthy, then go. to
Stand up to the wealthy like
taxthehell.com and
you?
join us so we can
Yeah,
build
let's
a
see.
country that puts
How fun,
working
dude? De Blasio's
people
getting his
first.
little push. De Blasio spoke more from Tulsi now.
Thank you.
Dude.
And then they go to Bennett instead of Yang.
What I wanna say
I don't want. I know, like we obviously are Yang fans here, so I'm like looking at this from like the perspective of like what's good for Andrew Yang. I understand that. Still, it feels like every time where I'm like, okay, cool. This would be a good time to ask the person who's last in time. Nah, we'll get to like second to last, third to last, fourth, and then we'll get to him. It does feel like he's kind of the last on their list of priorities, which, I mean, like, I could disagree with it, but it's like someone's got to be last on the list of priorities, I guess, and they must have chosen Yang for whatever reason. Maybe it's because they didn't wear a tie again, and they're like, I thought we taught you that lesson last time, old man. You better wear, old man, young man, you better wear that tie. If you don't wear a tie, we don't take too kindly to you, because, see, that's, but I don't know why else they would do that. It's really weird.
To come together just as our parents and grandparents did
That one sucks,
before them.
Stevie. You take some Ambien to go on
Face
stage. All of a sudden you're like, oh
challenges
no.
like the ones that we face
I'm about to hallucinate on stage in a debate. Funny story.
is to put the divisive politics
During the Michael
of
Bennett
Donald
point,
Trump behind
there actually was a pitcher named Doc Ellis who threw what they call a no-hitter in baseball, which is very rare, while he was high on acid. So if Doc Ellis could throw a no-hitter high on acid, Michael Bennett could give a speech on Ambien. Or who are we talking about? De Blasio or whoever was on Ambien. Give a speech on Ambien.
Wait, who just said Steve Bennett sounds like Barney from the Flintstones?
He kind of does. Just
Mark Garrett, that's funny.
He does sound like him. Bennett's like the sloth of Zootopia. Bennett's the guy who does have the kind of neat idea about kind of changing the way healthcare would work for in like rural areas, making sure you can get better healthcare access to people who are far away from large cities. I like that. It's a neat idea.
Wait, Tony just said
cancer?
Yang should
What?
wear a bolo tie?
Bolo time, man. Wait, they have a debate. Any of the debates in Texas? They have one in Texas, dude. Man, put a bolo tie on, man. Depressed Barney Rubble.
Says, I like Bennett, but he sounds drunk.
Dude, that would be a savage takedown, man. If someone got called depressed Barney Rubble on stage, how do you come back from that? No, I'm not.
Hey, why doesn't Andrew Yang just say, hey Siri, Google Andrew Yang?
Hey, closing statements are coming up. I think these are closing statements, actually. So this could be it when Yang says that. Who is Inslee? He's Bruce Banner. He's old Bruce Banner from an alternate timeline. That's who Jay Inslee is.
I hope you'll join me. Because we are up against powerful special fossil fuel interests. And it is time to stand up on our legs.
There's no easier way to say I'm an out-of-touch, wealthy, elite person than to run on climate change. People care about it, but like, dude, like your average person doesn't have the luxury of just being like, my first priority is climate change. Their first priority is like goes like healthcare, economy, education, then climate change and stuff. But you can't just run on that first foremost.
Because I know we can build a clean energy.
Yeah, no, Yang once again did look like the adult in the room, which was good for him.
Yeah, but that didn't work for Kasich in 2016. Well, it did in his home state, though. It did.
The Kasich actually got closer than I think people thought he would.
Yeah.
This is our moral responsibility, and we will fulfill
He
it.
seems like an old football.
I told you, he looks like a football coach or a cop.
I guess like bone structure, man. He's got like great bone structure.
I want to cast him in my next movie.
Kirsten Gillibrand. Oh my God, sorry. Kirsten Gillibrand, man. She starts off her response, closing statements. Donald Trump. Come on,
Dude, Donald Trump lives in these people's heads rent free.
Like you literally couldn't go one word into your closing statement without saying Donald Trump. Couldn't go one word. Oh my God, man. Please.
I also know how to beat Donald Trump. He has broken his promises to the
Okay,
American
whatever.
people.
You don't care.
How much do
about
these debates matter? It's a
Kirsten.
good question, man. I really do wonder how much they really matter. It's in the reverse order of how they're polling. Yeah, this time, Andrew Yang will once again end with like. The thing is, though, at a certain point, like it's like, there's got to be something about Yang's strategy is contributing to that.
You know, the only people where I think I want to hear more of what you have to say is obviously Yang, Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh, it's cool, Jimmy T. I didn't know that.
Inslee, interestingly enough, seems like he was holding his own on some things. Maybe Biden, just because he was very wonky and he knows a lot of the history of a lot of these bills. He's been around in Washington a long time, so he could explain the backstories of why things happened. But I have zero desire to learn more from Kirsten Gillibrand, Kamala Harris, de Blasio.
Did you hear that?
Thank you.
What?
She did the. People were saying Trump should. People were saying he should do that.
Washington have failed us.
Yang should have done that. She beat him to it. She plugged her website at the end of her thing.
Like Russia,
Oh.
China,
That's new.
and North Korea, starting a new Cold War, pushing closer and closer to
Oh,
the brink
Tulsi's
of
closing statement.
nuclear
Biden
catastrophe.
old ideas.
Now, as we stand here tonight,
Tulsi
there are
talking foreign
thousands
policy
of
though. It's
nuclear
good.
missiles pointed at us, and if
Yeesh.
we were to get
A lot of
an
nukes.
attack right here tonight, we would have 30 minutes. 30 minutes before we were hit.
Wow, talking
And we
nuclear
received
missiles.
an
That's
alert like the one
nuclear,
we received in Hawaii last
I don't
year
know.
that would say
Yeah, no, again, Yang's talk time. I still got it up there for you guys, dude. It's like it's not even close, man. He's like so far down the bottom.
seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill. And you would see, as
Wow.
we did, as my loved ones
That's
in Hawaii did, there is no shelter.
Oh, Tulsi's pulling that.
This is
Okay.
the warmonger's hoax. There is no shelter. It's all a lie. As president, I will end this insanity because it doesn't have to be this way.
Wow, that was
I
a
will end
That's
these
powerful.
that was a
forward-thinking
whopper of a
wars.
speech.
Holy
We're
smoke!
gonna
This
end
is the
this beautiful
warmongers
war with
hoax.
the use
There
of
is no
diplomacy to
shelter.
de-escalate these tensions, the
Vote for
trillions of dollars that we've been wasting
It's a
on
good
these
point.
wars and on these
Tulsi's the
weapons.
only person who's
And
claiming she will.
redirect those
If you vote for
resources
me,
into
the United States of
serving
America will
our
not be hit by a
people
nuclear
right
bomb.
here at
Thanks,
home.
Tulsi.
Things like making sure everyone in this country has clean water.
It's a good
to
point, though,
drink
Mark.
and
Yeah, if you
safe
don't plug your
air to
website, what the
breathe.
hell you do it?
Infrastructure.
Can you look
I
up
will put
Kirsten
your interests
Gillibrand's
above all else.
Google
Secretary Castro.
search results? It
First of
spiked
all,
in the
let me,
past minute.
Thank you to you, Jake, Dana, and to Don, and to everybody here, and to those watching.
Is it
You
Kirsten
know,
or
this
Kristen?
election is all about
God, I look like an idiot.
what kind of nation we're going to become.
Kirsten?
You and
There
I,
we go,
stand
sorry.
on the shoulders of
I knew it. It's one of the
folks
two.
who have made beds and made
There was a problem
sacrifices.
displaying this page. Please
People
try
that
again.
fought in wars and
Yikes.
fought discrimination. Folks
Problem
that picked
displaying.
crops and stood in picket lines.
We will not
And
know.
they helped build the wonderful nation that we live in today. Donald Trump has not been bashful in his cruelty.
He's a show.
And I'm not gonna be
I
bashful
hope
with
Yang
my
has a good thing
common sense
proposed.
and
Yeah,
compassion.
I hope Yang has a good
I
closing
believe that we
statement
need
ready. He's
leadership
ready
that
to bring it. I hope he
understands
does.
that we need to move forward
Yang
as
gonna.
one nation.
Yeah, what, dude? Yang said he was gonna have hologram speeches. He hasn't done one yet.
In the
I want to
years
see one of
come,
those.
Is to be the smartest, the
Don't
healthiest,
see from my physical
the
fitness
fairest,
trainer.
I don't know. I
most
just don't
prosperous
believe
nation on
Julian
earth.
Castro.
Spartan, I think Gillibrand. I think she's one of those people. She adopts whatever policy you brought up to her. Oh, that's a good. I adopt that now. Yeah, it's a good one.
And
I'm glad you brought that up. I adopt it.
20th,
You know.
2021,
Holocrop Yang with
we'll
Tupac.
say
There we go.
together, Adios to Donald Trump.
Mr. Yang.
Oh, here we go, Mr. Yang.
Oh.
You know what the talking heads couldn't stop talking about after the last debate? It's not the fact that I'm somehow number 4 on the stage in national polling. It was the fact that I wasn't wearing a tie.
He brought the tie
Instead
up.
of talking about automation in our future, including the fact that we automated away 4 million manufacturing jobs, hundreds of thousands.
Okay,
right
so
here in
far so good.
Michigan.
So far so
We're
good.
up here with makeup
I like
on
it.
our faces and our rehearsed attack lines, playing roles in this reality TV show.
Okay.
It's one reason why we elected a reality TV star as our president.
Oh.
He's the only one who's at a pause for applause so far. It's good for him.
Of today. Like the fact that the most common jobs in America may not exist in a decade, or that most Americans cannot pay their bills. My flagship
Good
proposal,
stuff.
the
It's all good
Freedom
stuff.
Dividend, would put $1,000 a month into the hands of every American adult, be a game changer for millions of American families. If you care more about your family and your kids than my neckwear, enter your zip code at yang2020.com and see what $1,000 a month would mean to your community.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh,
This is
snap.
very cool. Something he announced. Yeah, we'll talk about that after.
Forward, and that is how we're going to beat Donald Trump in 2020.
That was good, man.
All right. That was strong.
That was good. Because also, this is the cool thing.
He doesn't seem as comfortable up there, but that was strong.
But I want to show you guys something really quickly. For anyone who hasn't seen this yet, what he's talking about, he had a new thing at his website. A lot of you guys have probably seen this around Twitter, but
cities, including the city of Newark, and Detroit is turning around, and Newark is turning around because we let no one divide us, no one demean or degrade us or underestimate.
But here we go.
Oh, except for like how Democrats constantly divide and demean and denigrate Republicans.
That's the history of
Yeah,
the city.
well,
My mom is sitting there who was born.
so I'm just
in
picking
the
a
city,
random town. I'm picking
born to a
Buffalo,
guy
South
who was a
Carolina.
UAW
Don't know much about
my
Buffalo, South
grandfather,
Carolina. However,
who his family
the really cool
held
thing about this new Yang
property
plugin and what he
my
just
grandmother joined
plugged
him.
on
She
the
was really
debate,
awesome.
so you guys right now,
Opened a
is you
food
put
hall
in your zip
laundromat
code
right here in this city.
and
That is the American
oh,
dream,
whoops.
and
There we
so
go.
many of
I'll
us
do one in
have
real time for you
Except
guys.
for if you want to start a pool hall, you have to deal with all of the vice taxes and the crazy licenses. And if you want to do
That's
the
really cool what they're
laundromat, you have to
talking
deal with all of these environmental laws and everything that would prevent you from ever being able to open it. Sorry, Senator Cory Booker. I do not believe you've ever started a business in your life or know how it works.
He's mayor. Mayor good. I thought that was good though. I thought that was really cool from Yang. I'm glad he brought that up. I think it's strong for him to bring up. Whew. Sorry about that, guys, but oh my God, man. Andrew Yang's search interest after that closing statement, guys. If you could
South
see it.
Dakota is the #1 state with interest for Andrew Yang. Look at that. on your graph of the
Oh,
search
it's South,
results.
South Dakota? That's interesting, man. I wonder why.
Look at that. South Dakota, Hawaii, Wyoming, Vermont, Delaware.
Hawaii, Tulsi fans, probably. That's funny. Wyoming. The only ones that look more for Kamala Harris are Mississippi and Kentucky. Interesting. I wonder why. Like, literally, like, I'm not trying to, like, imply anything. I really do wonder why just those two states. I think it's totally close. So I think it's just there's areas she's close in, and then those two happen to switch her away. So. Still, though, interesting. Very interesting.
Oh, she loves this attention.
Yeah, Yang's definitely so far the best. Oh, Kamala. Here we go. Here's our girl Kamala. That's what she says.
Many of whom lost their homes and will never be able to buy
Okay.
them. I've taken on the for-profit colleges who preyed on students, put them out of business. I've preyed on
Like the not-for-profit colleges preyed on students to get FAFSA money and bankrupted them for the next 50 years.
Yeah, well, how many like higher education is like literally not for profit or like doesn't need a ton of private funding.
And by the
all
way,
time,
how can you say that you're not for profit when you're paying your football coaches $7 million a year, $10 million a year? I mean, you're behaving literally just
Hey,
like
you
a
know what?
profitable organization. You just have the cover of a 501c3.
If we have time after, we'll talk about Nick Saban and what the state of Alabama does for Nick Saban, but
Yeah.
maybe another time.
And predators are cowards. What we
No, PogChamp, you're right. He was wearing a tie at the walkthrough at the beginning of the debate, and then he teased wearing one and asked about wearing one on Instagram, but he actually didn't wear one on stage. Officially. There's pictures of him on stage with the tie on, but it's the walkthrough. So he's not officially wearing it.
tax bill benefiting the top 1% and the biggest corporations in this country when he
Oh,
said he would
benefiting the top 1%. I wonder who said that before. I feel like I've heard it before. I can't put my finger on where, but I believe I've heard that before.
We have someone who passed a so-called trade policy that was trade policy by tweet and has resulted in a tax on American.
I'm not. Every time Kamala speaks, it is so hard to like actually like. Even if I sort of believe she means what she says, I'm still just like, God, Kamala, it's not.
It's inauthentic.
But the reason why I bring up Kamala, I don't want to just bash Kamala all the time. She seems to be the clear front runner. It seems like Kamala is going to be. Yeah, dude, his website, that is so cool. When you go to that website, I think you guys have seen his Twitter account if you're on Twitter. I know I have, where he basically does what the website does, where he just takes a small town and just takes the population of people over the age of 18, times $1,000 a month, and dude, you look at it, it's like, yeah, Andrew Yang wants to invest $5 million a month into a small town. It's like, wow, that's actually, you frame it that way. Like, holy cow, and he's putting it that way for everyone. That's really cool.
We're in a battle for the soul of
I was
America.
gonna put the volume a little more.
This most consequential election, any one of you, no matter how old or young you are.
We're not in a battle for the soul of America. We're in a battle to choose the president that's going to lead us and that can best represent our values.
That's the classic line this dude.
Yeah. Sorry.
Kamala Harris, not a fan. Not a fan of Kamala Harris at all.
Did he just say
Kamala
4 more
blocked
years?
evidence that
Hold
would've
on.
killed someone.
Did he just say 4 more years of Donald Trump is going to change America in a fundamental way? When Barack Obama himself said, "I'm trying to change America in a fundamental way."
It is up for interpretation. Also, I don't know. It's like, Donald Trump's already been president for 2 years, right? So you can pretty much just extrapolate it for times 4. That's how it's going to be. So.
Dude, his teeth are bleached, man. Look at that. He's got a big smile. No wonder he won the vice presidency.
Yeah. Oh, are they real teeth? And he is like what, like 70 something? They're gonna be
I
fake.
don't know. Look at those chompers.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Did anyone look? Did Andrew Yang actually say Donald Trump at all? I mean, he didn't speak very much, of course, but did he ever say Donald Trump? In contrast with Gillibrand literally starting first 2 words, Donald Trump. It's like, wow, you made it exactly 0 seconds. Okay, so is that? Hey, look at that!
Hey, they put
As soon as
Tulsi
the
Gabbard
debate ended,
together.
Tulsi and Yang turned and shook hands.
Oh, and
while
then
Kamala blew
look.
him off to go hang out. Gillibrand and eyebrows. Okay. Yang pulled him.
Look at her. They're fraternity sisters that secretly hate each other.
And Yang getting some Joe Biden love, and Jay Inslee's like, hey, remember me?
No.
But Biden, I'm telling you, I think Biden actually does like a lot of Andrew Yang's ideas. There's a story that at the last debate he pulled him aside, and
Well, dude,
he
honestly-
just went over to him. He hugged Kamala and then walked right over to Yang and shook his hand. You know?
Like, there's a lot of things that I disagree with Biden on, and I think he's kind of sold out in a lot of ways. But at the end of the day,
okay, you're right, Mark. You said that.
I think his heart is good. I don't like how people attack Biden so much, and I'm not even a Biden fan. I know a lot of people say you should never never stop your political opponents from committing suicide. But it does kind of bother me just as a lay viewer to see all of these Democrats who've done nothing but praise Biden and or need Biden for favors, all of a sudden just attacking him. It makes me look like they're willing to sacrifice some kind of personal integrity for just for political gain. You know, it doesn't attract me as a voter.
1 second, sorry. I'm trying to pull up the Yang 2020 traffic info because his website's loading really slow right now. I want to see if we can actually see it happen. I got to turn this down. I'm sorry. 1 second, guys.
And two CNN political commentators, both former governors, Jennifer Granholm of Michigan and Terry McAuliffe.
We'll get the CNN roundtable discussion on.
Oh, and there's Van Jones.
Yeah, whatever.
Can't do a segment without Van Jones.
One of their stars, you know. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I could pull this thing up and get a better view of the Yang 2020. Because I have on stream right now for you guys. You can clearly see who spoke the most. I mean, no surprise, right? Like, it's exactly what you expected. Harris got time to attack Biden. Biden had to talk more because he was defending himself. Excuse me. Cory Booker and Gillibrand stuck their nose into everything. Everyone else got about an equal share, and then Andrew Yang got shafted. So basically what you would expect. I would say Tulsi got to talk more than I think people would have expected. I think part of that came from her very pointed attack on Kamala Harris that led to the only spike in interest of Kamala Harris in search results that we saw. And this is funny. You look at after those closing remarks and pull up the search results again, and Andrew Yang, I mean, just exploded as far as.
Can we compare that with somebody else besides?
Yeah. Well, 1 second.
Kamala Harris. Can we compare that with Kirsten Gillibrand, who also mentioned her website?
I want to put one more thing up if I can. Dang. I did not know how to read this website enough. Otherwise, I'd like to show you the search interest. So yes, we'll go back to the search interest for here. What candidate?
Kirsten Gillibrand.
Oh, actually, last time I tried to look, it broke the you can't. It won't let you look.
It won't let you look. Can we do just Kirsten Gillibrand?
I don't know.
Okay, there's Andrew Yang.
Hold on. So here's talk time. I do want to see if I can pull one more thing up, though. I want to see if I can get that site info for you guys really quick. Because Harris was just an idiot. Harris had a really weird performance where we brought it up. If you guys weren't with us at the time, when they were talking about immigration and crime and, the legal system in the jails, all of a sudden, despite you look at Kamala Harris and you think, why did Kamala Harris speak 4 minutes less than Joe Biden? I swear to God. Kamala Harris spoke 4 minutes less than Joe Biden because she was ducking every question about law and order and immigration. So she basically just couldn't talk for about 5 minutes. About 6 minutes there, she couldn't say a word. Actually, maybe even longer, close to 10 minutes. Because I remember, if you guys were here, I had a picture of her arm in arm with ICE agents smiling, just waiting for her to address ICE on stage, and she didn't. She just wasn't speaking for minutes and minutes and minutes. And that really explains the gap. So if you look and you say, oh, well, Biden spoke like 4 minutes more than Harris. He did, but that was because Harris was ducking questions on immigration and crime and prosecution the entire time. She basically just didn't say anything. It was really weird. If you were to go back and rewatch the debate, you'll just notice all of a sudden. If you were to watch it in reverse, I guess I could say, it'd be like she's this active participant, and then all of a sudden she just drops out. She's nowhere to be found. That's
they protect her. It's because they are protecting her.
Well, she also ducked. She didn't come in and say anything either, So, yeah, both ways. They didn't ask her to say.
What is their fashion? I don't get, what is this? What is the fascination with Kamala Harris?
I don't get it.
Is it really just like they think that Barack Obama was good because he's black, and if we can just have a black female president?
No, I don't think.
No, there was so much. I remember
that
CNN.
Sounds crazy.
No, I remember CNN running stories talking about how I remember they highlighted a story of this grandfather who was walking his son to the polling booth or something like that, and he said, "How could I ever tell my grandson I did not vote for America's first black president or for the first major black candidate?" And there's this overwhelming thought that identity politics has gotten so bad that it's no longer even just thinking, oh, based upon their skin color, they're bad. It's this strange thought that they will be good.
But
that because they're a female, they will be good. Or because they're black, they will be good. And it's I mean, it's great. I don't want people thinking negatively because of somebody's skin color, but shouldn't the president be a meritocracy and we push the candidates with the best ideas
Well, voters do.
instead of the best identity?
Well, I think we do, and that's why Obama won twice. Because no one cared. That you could just kind of throw the racial thing out. I think I hear what you're saying a little bit. There was a little bit of kind of like, I think in a lot of ways, people thought like, I like Obama anyway, and cool, I get to be part of voting for the first black president in U.S. history. It's like I'm helping make history voting for a candidate I like anyway. You know, I think people like that.
I get the first
Orange is
black
the
president
color.
thing.
That is true. Orange is the color.
Look, I totally get the first black president thing.
Forget about Obama though.
But do you really think, like, what is their rubric for thinking Kamala Harris? It can't be based off the best ideas.
It can't
because she's imprisoned more black people. You just saw her idea for the student loan forgiveness, and even Kyle Kalinske on Secular Talk.
That was really bad. That was really bad.
Is lampooning this. I can't think of a flagship idea of hers that is revolutionary. Whereas at least you can think of flagship ideas of other candidates. Okay, Joe Biden has been part of flagship ideas because he's been in Washington D.C. for 70 years. But Andrew Yang's got the freedom dividend. Even Michael Bennett has his rural health plan. You know, you can think of ideas when you think of these candidates, and you can't think of anything with Kamala Harris besides identity. Identity.
No, I think
I'm tired of that.
I think there's also a little bit they look at. I think Harris just kind of has the like. I'm trying to think the best word of putting it, but like she's paid her dues enough where they say we trust her enough to be our spokesperson. I think it's more that they trust her. Now, if they trust her, they trust her judgment, or they just trust that that her decisions will align with theirs. I don't know, but I think it's a trust thing. That's what I think it is.
No, it's definitely true that the trust factor has to be
They're
huge.
so obviously this entire thing has been set up. Like I said, dude, they let Kamala avoid the most difficult thing. Tulsi brought it up anyway.
They completely protected her from her back.
She literally didn't have to talk about. Well, dude, like she didn't. They talked about immigration for like 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes,
Okay,
and
look.
she didn't say a word. Really?
Look,
I wonder why the person who spoke second most didn't say one word when you're talking about an issue that didn't benefit her. So, and then right now, again, they're saying right now, everyone's just going up here. All the classic CNN 9 talking heads on camera at once, going, "Yeah, so Joe Biden lost, and Kamala Harris won." It is kind of starting to look a little bit like, can you guys just like say that we endorse? Can you just donate money to Kamala Harris already and get it over with? You know? And I was waiting for Kamala when they asked something about Kamala. Almost slipped up. When they asked her, do you think the president should be prosecuted? She almost said that I've prosecuted people. I've thrown people in jail for less. She's like, I've seen people thrown in jail for less by myself. I've thrown people in jail for less. So that I thought was funny. I don't know.
Well, I just don't understand. See, look, if you're a Fox News executive and you're emotionally interested in the Republicans doing better, I could see why you might protect Donald Trump on a debate stage full of a bunch of other Republicans from questions about grabbing women by the blank. Okay? I could
Stuff
see
like
that.
that's not good.
Yeah, because you might want to protect him from it. You might want to ask some other candidates some other things so that when they're fighting each other, good old Donald Trump isn't, getting affected. And then you might go home and justify that dereliction of your journalistic duty by saying, you know what? I believe there's more freedom of speech, and that's important for journalists now under Donald Trump, so I will forgive X. Or I look at the economy and how much better my business is doing, so even as Don Lemon says, I'm willing to prioritize the, quote, economy over his bigotry. What's CNN's?
Hey, Van Jones just shouted at Andrew Yang. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, what's CNN's?
He just fanboyed over him.
Did he? What did he say?
Oh, they were talking about who performed well, and he was saying that he thought that, I believe he was speaking about Kamala Harris did very well, and then he said, and Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang was great. I love Andrew Yang. So, Andrew Yang is a way of winning people over. We were actually talking about this individual earlier. An individual's name I just forgot. Oh, my God. Anyway, he recently also was promoting Andrew Yang. I believe someone said the Krasenstein brothers said let Yang speak somewhere on social media. So there's a lot of people out there, Nicolas Cage famously. There's a lot of people out there that really like hearing more from Yang, like seeing more from Yang. And I think even Van Jones had to say, hey, you know what? This is cool. We got, Andrew Yang performed well. And again, he barely got to speak, though. That's the thing that I think part of it is, honestly, I do think his temperament and his strategy will lend to him speaking less than other candidates. But just being, clear in a way the least amount of talk time and then not having questions asked to him, I get the point. Like honestly, like I said, we look at it from the perspective of being pro Andrew Yang because we like Andrew Yang. But I can see from the perspective of CNN, like, here's a candidate we don't really believe in. We don't really think will go far. We don't want to really give him a lot of time if we don't have to. So if he's not going to speak up, he's not going to speak up, and that's that. I disagree with it, but, I can see them making that point. I disagree with it.
But I think Cory Booker won this debate, and he won it. Was very positive.
Cory Booker won the debate? Really? Anyone in chat agree with that? And this isn't to say Cory Booker was, like, awful. I just didn't think he stood out as the winner of the debate. I would not agree. Hey, Whoopi Goldberg also was also the same thing. Yeah, I don't agree with that Cory Booker was the winner of the debate.
Where's Cory Booker going?
Backstage. They're going to ask some questions. But I don't think he won. Honestly, this is a tough debate, I would say, to really give a clear-cut winner to. Andrew Yang performed well when he got a chance to speak. He didn't get a lot of time to speak. Tulsi Gabbard made some good points. I thought her closing statement to be... I did not really understand the direction she was coming from. It was like...
Oh, I was powerfully impacted when she said this is the warmongers hoax.
Yeah, but she's like, it's like, whoa, okay, I guess I don't want to get nuked, but like, what are you talking about?
I liked Tulsi Gabbard's.
Okay, so we disagree on that.
I don't like it when they just constantly rip on Trump, though, because it's just wasted speech, in my opinion. It's like, I'm so...
Yeah, again,
it's like the term
Donald
racist.
Trump. Like, really, are you kidding me? You start Donald Trump, you can't get one word in. Like,
well, it's like the term racist. Every single day of my life...
Tulsi did Decimate Harris, that is true.
Yeah. Every single day of my life, in one way or another, I've been insinuated, called, or slandered as racist. Just because I'm white and I'm willing to engage in speech and politics. And it's just gotten to a point now where racist just means left of Bernie or right of Bernie Sanders. That's just what it means. Racist now doesn't mean anything other than I disagree with you and I don't know how to express it, but I'm angry because my worldview that orange man bad, white man bad has been threatened. Therefore, I will emotionally lash out with what I think is the scariest and meanest and ultimately really one of the cruelest things politically you could say about somebody and call them racist.
But I don't think that wasn't the story of tonight's debate. Refreshingly, it was spoken about, but it didn't dominate the story.
No, I'm just
thought
saying
that was refreshing.
Complaining about Trump nowadays is like
it's kind of
calling a Republican racist. It's just it's the boy who's cried wolf.
Not kind of, it literally is. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, but it's the boy who cried wolf. It's like I'm sorry that slander.
Well, hold on. Do you guys want to hear who NBC thought won the debate?
Who did NBC think won? Buttigieg.
Oh,
who wasn't even on stage? Donald Trump. They think Donald Trump won.
No, but this is interesting. I want to show you guys this. So according to NBC, they looked at and they said, let me find if I can find this graph. Ooh, here we go. Who was attacked the most? Again, this goes back to my point that no one likes Bill de Blasio. Bill de Blasio like barely spoke. He's like polling like way at the bottom. And Bill de Blasio was attacked as much as corporations in general will. Nobody likes Bill de Blasio, man. Protesters were, by the way, for people who missed the beginning of the debate, protesters were literally at the debate protesting against Bill de Blasio. So I don't know what it is. These people really do not like Bill de Blasio. Well, not these people. People in general. I don't like him. I guess you guys don't like him. Protesters don't like him. He was attacked as much as corporations in general were attacked at the debates, which is hilarious to me. Donald Trump, of course, was attacked.
But this right here, guys,
almost twice anyone else.
I'm sorry. I hate to say this, but on air, I predict a landslide of Donald Trump.
Oh, wait, 1 second.
Simply because he's living rent-free in their heads. Look at this graph. Here are measurable quantifiers. Here is science proving if the number one attack is Donald Trump to that agree by everybody. I'm sorry, Richard Nixon said it so well, and it hasn't changed. When there is a movement against X, I bet on X. When there is a movement against Donald Trump and you can't do anything other than attack him, so much so that he is by that margin the biggest attack of the night, it shows you do not have substantive claims that are going to prove you're a better alternative. Well, I'm sorry, but this a great performance for Andrew Yang. I think, well, I would say good performance by Andrew Yang, good performance by Tulsi Gabbard. Horrible for the Democrats as a whole.
No, but did you see, this is something very interesting to me. I don't know if you noticed this yet. If you take a look at those numbers.
What?
Who didn't get attacked once in the whole debate?
Oh, yeah, Andrew Yang.
And the rules...
Technically, our Inslee friend didn't.
Both of them, yeah, but the rules state that if you are attacked, you have the right to defend yourself. Well, that's the reason why Andrew Yang spoke less than anyone else. He was never challenged on anything and never, and which is so weird to me. Maybe that's the downside of having good ideas, is you never get challenged on them because people just say, that's a good idea. I'm not going to throw my hat into that one. Maybe that's what happened to him. He just didn't, people were like, he just doesn't get to talk time. Like, it's weird to me, but the numbers don't lie, man. Andrew Yang attacked the least. Andrew Yang, least amount of talk time. Same thing. Like, they don't lie.
I love what he said about we have a reality show electorate now, and that's why we have a reality show candidate. This was a farcical performance. I'm sorry. It was just absolute farcical. I know political comedians and improv artists that would literally, if they were making fun of the Democrat Party and trying to caricature the Democrat Party, would have put on a show that sounded very similar to what we just saw.
Well, but this, unlike the first debate where they had these really weird moments where, like, everyone rose their hands for healthcare for illegal immigrants, we were just like, why? Like, I guess I don't even care what the question is. Everyone rose their hand, like, so I guess it was pointless asking the question. Then it was really weird. Like, there was no moment like that in this debate, but there was also no big moment from anyone in this debate where I went like Andrew Yang did a good closing statement. You like Tulsi's closing statement. I found it bizarre. I thought Tulsi attacking Kamala Harris, that was a pretty good moment, but there really wasn't that many moments where I was like, oh, okay, wow, this is like a real line of thought they're going down. It was kind of just like they wasted 40 minutes during the debate. Back and forth arguing over whose version of Medicare for All will work best without any real like data or numbers brought up. Just like, well, my opponents wouldn't even offer X. Well, my opponents wouldn't offer Y. Well, that's a lie. And it's just like, it was so much of just people proposing the same thing with a slight twist. It just kind of wasted time. I just think it's a bizarre position to run on.
He asked a question. AQI just asked Twitter followers go up
by a lot. Yes, they went up very high, I believe. That's my Trump answer.
Tim
very
Nguyen,
much, very high. Went up big, but yeah, no, he had a big bump.
Tim Nguyen, our Vietnamese brother, said by 10K.
Yeah, it was a good debate. It was a good debate for him always. I mean, like I said, I have the Google Trends up here, and you can look at the Google Trends for Andrew Yang. I mean, when he talked about go to my website and put in your area code, boom, jumped up. So
wow.
That was really cool.
And look, it stayed higher.
Yeah, the debate was well for him. But again, he was attacked the least and spoke the least. Those numbers obviously have to correlate. His website crashed. I do believe I was hearing that people said his website had to be someone had to jump on help it. Here's some of the CNN highlights. Tulsi was friendly to Biden all week. She attacked Harris, game point to Biden. Yeah, I know. Like I said, like that the healthcare argument, no one was bringing up enough differences in their versions. It was like these slight things.
I'm shocked that you do. I am happy to do that.
First of all, Mr. Vice President, it looks like one of us has learned the lessons.
Okay, so now they're showing all the Biden attacks. It's literally it's just like a quick edit of people attacking Joe Biden and him not responding. This is great. Now, yeah, this was just kind of a tear down of Joe Biden. It's just kind of sad to watch, I don't know. I don't like. It doesn't seem like anyone really. Andrew Yang didn't. If Andrew Yang got to speak for 15 minutes, I wonder what he would have said. You know what I mean? But like the people who did speak for a lot of time, dude, there was nothing I heard from any of these people that really inspired me at all. Yeah, I mean, the one thing I like the idea of, and I hope they do this, I heard people talking about the idea of doing a specific debate only on climate change. If only we could do that debate on climate change, and then we could all agree we care about the environment, and then just talk about other things in other debates. Because, dude, wasting 25, 30 minutes on people just all saying, yes, the environment's important, we need to do more. It just takes time away from the debate. There's not one Democrat running who's like, I think climate change is a complete hoax. We should do nothing. We should burn more coal. So, like, why are you... It's like they're making people prove, hey, you are pro-environment, right? Like, just, yes, everyone running on the Democratic side of the ticket is pro-environment. Every single one of them. So maybe bring up one or two specific policies, but spending this much time talking about it. It's like almost every candidate supports Medicare for all on some scale. So why does it take up so much time in the debate? Why don't we talk about where the candidates differ Who was the most cringy in the debate? Gillibrand always comes up to me as most cringy. There was one point where Gillibrand kept coming at Biden, and she kept saying, you wrote this op-ed, and you wrote this op-ed, and you wrote this op-ed. And Joe Biden at the end just said, I literally don't believe anything I said in that op-ed. And it just took Gillibrand's argument and just dumpstered it. It's like, yeah, when you attack a guy in an op-ed from 20 years ago, we could just say, you know what, fine. I have no problem dismissing that. And I thought that was really cringy from Gillibrand. Harris, I guess Harris was like corporate cringe, where you're just kind of like, really, Harris? Really? But yeah, that was it. Also, Joe Biden shutting his mouth the second they asked him to, while it was nice to see, is a little cringe. A little like, come on, Joe. You're front-running VP, just shutting your mouth, oh, don't talk right now. It was really weird. Samson, Yang did pretty good. He once again, I don't know if it's on screen. Can you guys see it? Yeah, it's on screen. You can see it on the screen. He once again spoke less than anyone else. Cool thing, not cool, but the interesting thing about him speaking less than everyone else, he also was attacked less than anyone else except Jay Inslee, who was attacked 0 times as well. In results, his Google trends went up for him. He did get followers. He did a pretty cool thing for anyone who missed the debate. At the very end of his closing statement, Andrew Yang dropped the go to my website, put in your area code. It's a part of his website where if you put your area code on his website, it basically takes the amount of adults over the age of 18, times that by 1,000, and says, I want to invest this amount of money in your community every month. It's really powerful, and that really helped jump him up. So that was really cool from Yang. Again, because he didn't attack anyone or get attacked, he got very little talk time. That was the other end.
Hey, you know how Marvel Comics is doing all of this switching now of the gender roles and the skin color of all of the Marvel comic book heroes and everything like that,
Yes.
I was just thinking, Van Jones is a handsome guy. He's talented. He's got a big smile. He'd probably be an awesome Hollywood star, and he obviously
could be
wants
an
the
actor,
attention.
actually, yeah.
Dude, would he not be a sick black Lex Luthor?
Yeah, I think he could just be
Like the dude against Superman?
No, yeah,
I would pay money. Van Jones as Lex Luthor, dude.
No, honestly, I wonder if he's ever tried acting. Because you're right. Whenever I see him, I remember there was even a Project Veritas video that leaked of him talking about the Russia thing. I'm not going to get into that, but it was a video shot of him against his permission. And even then, I'm like, he looks like a pretty cool guy. I thought he looked like a really genuine guy. So I would like to see. He's definitely one of the people I like on CNN. But this is for anyone who's watching the CNN post debate. Who won according to NBC? Let's see who they say did win. They're probably gonna say Harris or Biden. Live updates. Let's see. You guys are with me right now. I'm just kind of live with you guys, going through NBC News, trying to see who won the debate. Biden came out swinging and ducking. I don't know if they've actually said for sure who has won yet according to NBC. I'll let you guys know as soon as I see it, but I don't see an actual first definitive X is who's won. I'm assuming though, they're probably gonna say Biden or Harris. That's probably Harris. Harris seems to be that was the plan. Yeah, the Jesse Eisenberg Lex Luthor. Whew, man. Lance Reddick, yeah, Lance Reddick could do it. That'd be a good one. Yeah, that Jesse Eisenberg Lex Luthor, man. I was not a fan of that. That was yeah. Anyway, though, it was the other candidates more time to talk. It was really. Oh, no way. Really? I missed that. Is that true? Andrew Yang's campaign manager typed in our chat. That's funny. I missed that. I feel bad if it's true. I wish I didn't miss it. But yeah, it was, yeah, well, this was the thing. Okay, there was one point during the debate, and again, I'm not saying it's conspiratorial. I'm just kind of talking about what we saw during the debate. There was one moment during the debate where, coming out of break, Andrew Yang had spoke less than any other candidate. He was near the bottom, right? And it was coming out of a break. You would assume, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm assuming during break they probably look and say, okay, who should we ask a question next, right? Who have we heard from already? Let's just get, everyone involved. We can let the big people speak up. They came out of the break. I figured they would ask Yang a question. They didn't, and then they didn't, and then they didn't, and then they didn't. Minutes passed, and he was suddenly way below, and then they finally asked him one. So he seemed to be getting asked questions in a really weird rhythm. I don't know where that came from, but even being center stage, they found a way to crop him out of a lot of images. All of my eyes on Twitter. Last debate, that's where the news broke that he said his mic was cut. I am not very certain. I don't think it was cut. His mic was cut. I just think because he wasn't getting attacked and he wasn't attacking, he did fall to the wayside. So the thing is, I don't want to say nefarious anything about it, the questions he was asked were a little bit suspect, I thought. He got asked questions about things that really. The Reddit's page straw poll. Is it just r/politics? See if I can remember my Reddit enough. Politics.com. That's where I go, right? Politics.com. So it's reddit.com/r/politics. No, I'm doing this wrong. It's not gonna work.
Hey, how you doing, bud? Thanks. Great conversation to listen. Got two very quality people with me. CNN political director David Chalian and
Oh, it's
USA Today
/r/
columnist and CNN political analyst Kirsten Powers.
There we go. There we go. So let's see if Andrew Yang was number one on the straw poll for just a discussion thread. Shoot, sorry guys, I really don't know what he's read it very well. I'm trying to see if I can pull up though. So that would be interesting. I mean, Andrew Yang, of course, is kind of the internet candidate anyway, so you know, him performing well in a poll on a Reddit makes sense. But I don't know. It is interesting though to see that he's passing above. I maybe people don't even know more about Reddit than I do. I thought Reddit was a very big Bernie Sanders. Here we go. I'm pulling it right now. Bernie Sanders thing. So I'll do it live with you guys right here on the stream. So let's vote on the Reddit straw poll right now. We'll rig the election. Who won the second night debate? Oh,
Wait.
that's night 1, not night 2.
Yeah.
I thought that was the night 2 discussion thread. Well, you guys just saw me fail live on stream trying to do that, but
We still love you, bro. We still love you, man.
yeah, no, this is. Hold on, I'm gonna check something. Yeah, no, got it wrong. Anyway, guys, anyone else can figure out how you do that for me? Let me know. That'd be great. I'm admittedly kind of inept when it comes to that platform. But again, though, here is the total talk time for anyone who missed the debate. You can kind of see what happened in the talk time. It's kind of a little bit, you know, Yang spoke less than anyone again. Not great. You'd like to see him speak more. But when he spoke, I thought he said great things. Again, that's my big takeaway. My biggest takeaway from Yang really is when he did get to speak, he said a lot. I thought he had a great closing statement. The applause for him was louder than it was for anyone else. There, of course, was some obvious Yang gang in the crowd there who was really bringing the heat every time he said something. So that played a role in it. But still, the crowd was very receptive to what he had to say. And I thought it was a good debate for him. I thought he had a very... It's a strategy. That's the thing I think. So it's like that is his plan. He's not going to attack. And because of that, he's not getting attacked. And I do think part of it is because he does have some good ideas. I mean, I think most of us agree he has good ideas. So when he brings up a position, it's not easy to attack it. And I think candidates are like, you know what? Because honestly, man, like, unless you have your numbers right and you push somebody on, oh, I think your UBI plan's not going to work. And it's like, you know, Yang's got his numbers straight. He'll come at you and explain why it's going to work and why it could and why you're wrong. And I think because of that, it kind of leads the people not really looking to challenge him on it, so he doesn't have to defend himself. And that's why Joe Biden spoke the most. Well, that and, I mean, that's one of the two things I want to really kind of bring up again. I've said it before. Some of you guys have been here for a while. I haven't said this before. But what really stuck out to me was how Kamala Harris got to avoid the questions she really didn't want to answer. Specifically from the perspective of an Andrew Yang fan, Andrew Yang was asked questions that seemed almost tailor-made to attack him where he's weakest. I mean, really, Andrew Yang, I see him a lot of times on Twitter and online get a lot of heat because he just refuses to play identity politics. They ask him the identity politics question on the gender pay gap. They give him that. He does okay. They ask him foreign policy Iran deal questions. I thought he did okay, but again, like, I'm proposing to give everyone $1,000 a month, and I'm saying that automation and AI are a huge problem. I'm saying that your retail stores are closing, jobs are going to be gone, people do, and that's not worth questions? You want to ask about the Iran deal? I get it's important for the president to ask questions on, but, like, you finally get to Andrew Yang after ignoring him 15 minutes, an Iran deal. That's what I want to ask you about. Like, it was really weird, especially when Kamala Harris, like, I actually really want to know, yes, Kamala Harris, what do you think about the immigration and how we should be enforcing the laws there? She actually has a kind of interesting history with that. Kind of fascinated to hear her. We didn't get a chance. They didn't ask her. She didn't press. And they let her. They let her hide on that. And you would think if you were moderating that, I mean, I wish I had the picture. I'd show it again. I had a picture up on stream the entire time of Kamala Harris, arms around ICE officers at the border. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying it would be tough for her to be put into an environment where she would have to be very critical of somebody doing exactly what she's doing there, which is what was happening when Tulsi pressed her on her record and saying, well, hey, what about when you locked up, when you let people, how about when a federal judge had to say you had to let someone off death row? How about when you arrested a person a day for marijuana offenses every day you were in office? Like, how about all that stuff? And she comes back with, I was elected. Like, okay, I guess you were democratically elected, but still, I mean, it was a really kind of bizarre is the way to put it. It was kind of, I don't like using the word bias. CNN clearly either, I don't know, didn't know what they were doing and it just happened to work out for Kamala. Or they clearly were saying, okay, here, look, here's what we don't want to ask Kamala. Here's what we want to ask these people. Because Andrew Yang attacked no one. No one attacked Andrew Yang. I think part of it is people know there's no way every single one of these campaigns and every single one of these groups are just kind of like clueless. Some of them have to know, hey, this Andrew Yang guy here. I'm going to pull a story up for you guys right now. Some of you guys might have seen this. It was from Yahoo, where Andrew Yang is, I think, here we go. According to Yahoo Finance. So by the way, Yahoo Finance recently has just come out and had a lot of very positive stuff to say about Andrew Yang. But Andrew Yang is among top 3 Democratic presidential candidates based on new web traffic data. So tech entrepreneur and presidential candidate Andrew Yang ranks 3rd among Democratic presidential candidates when it comes to traffic to campaign websites, according to new numbers compiled by Analytics for SimilarWeb. And you can see right here, Kamala Harris goes way up because everyone's like, what's Kamala really about? Pete for America. Pete Buttigieg does really well. Joe Biden, be looking Yang 2020 is right there, 3rd overall. It's really interesting to see how Andrew Yang has been able to, and you notice it didn't jump up at any point. He's kept it pretty steady. We showed before the other day, he doesn't spend as much on Twitter ads as anyone else running. Yet he gets mileage at what he does, man. Like, you know, he doesn't mess around. He's not wasting time. He's really getting a lot out of what he puts in. And there's a lot of, I try to highlight it whenever I see it. If you guys ever do anything grassroots related, please, PSP Radio 1, it should be in the description of this live stream. Go to PSP Radio 1 on Twitter, and please just send us any pictures or videos or stories of anything. I'm just out there in the kind of grassroots movement. Sorry, I gotta mute this 1 second. Hypocrite in Chief, I love it. Just please send us stuff. We love to see it. We love to see what's going on because that is how this happens. Yeah, again, the Yahoo Finance, I think they had a guy on, I wish I had the article in front of me, but the way I believe it, he was like an executive of a marketing firm, digital marketing firm. He's being approached by a lot of campaigns, and he was saying, look, these campaigns are very advanced now. You're seeing you're seeing PhDs, you're seeing statisticians, you're seeing these really kind of like smart, big-name people brought into these campaigns. And he said, and Andrew Yang's killing it. He's like, it's amazing the campaign he's running, and it really is. You look at what Andrew Yang's able to do, not spending the amount of money anyone else is spending, still raising a lot, but being more kind of smart with how he spends it, and getting the least amount of time to talk in the debate. Again, no one even bothered attacking him because I think I said his ideas are really good, so they're kind of hard to attack. There's not as much opening for him. It was a really, I don't know. I think it was a very strong performance from Andrew Yang. Didn't speak a lot, but when he did, his words mattered. Tulsi Gabbard, a lot of you guys are fans of. I like Tulsi Gabbard. People disagree with me on this. I didn't dislike it. I was just confused by her closing statement. She talked mostly about nuclear missiles and the threat of nuclear holocaust and missile threat. It was, to me, it just kind of comes bizarre. I didn't fully understand it. But that was a standout moment. There was a moment that was really funny. Someone asked before who the most cringe candidate was. There was a moment where Kristen Gillibrand just kept going at Joe Biden about an op-ed he wrote years ago. And eventually Joe Biden just said, look, I don't stand by anything I wrote there. I disagree with that now. And it was like her whole big, mic drop moment on him. He just took it from her and said, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I don't agree with that anymore. You're right. That was dumb. I shouldn't have said it. Like, oh, I thought I had prepared this thing for you. Oh, they got a booker on CNN right now. So I'll put that on. Biden, you're right. Biden did at one point touch Booker. I thought it was really funny, actually. He kind of referred to him as the former president. He was like, oh, a future president, kind of being nice and joking around with him, and gives him a nice friendly touch. And then Joe Biden says one thing. Corbett, excuse me, sir, please don't be interrupted. It's like, wow, dude, he was actually being really nice with you. He just waited for a moment to attack him. That was kind of funny. Yeah, I mean, no voting record no voting record impacts you in a lot of ways in a campaign, right? You can't run on it, but people can attack you on it. But because people can't attack you on it, it's harder to question you on it, and you have less to fall back on. So it's kind of, a lot of good and bad of having no voting record. Like, for example, having a political record is not do Kamala Harris any favors. People can keep bringing it up. Well, Kamala, how come you were putting up parents in jail when their kids were delinquent to school? Why would you do that, Kamala Harris? And she has to answer those questions. They're tough questions. She doesn't really. I didn't notice that as well. There was a lot of the exact same tight shot of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden standing next to each other. I saw that shot. Oh, what do you know? Go to the NBC homepage. What do you see? Front and center, the exact shot I'm talking about. Kamala and Biden. I'm sorry, I gotta put it here. Kamala and Biden. Here's what I'm looking for. They use that shot so much. The first 15, 20, 40, 30 minutes probably. Every time I looked up, that's what I'm seeing. Oh, they're talking about the touch right now on CNN. The touch between Joe Biden and Cory Booker, which I don't know. But it was, we have a part of living in the White House. Love that. I'm going to Clorox the Oval Office. Haha. Once again, nobody stood out as the adult. Biden a little bit. But Biden was getting attacked so much, and he was so, he didn't have that fire to respond. I don't know. It was weird. Yeah, it was a lot of I guess that also makes sense. They wanted to make sure they had good angles, so they used a lot of tight shots. Still, I've seen more dynamic camera work in events like this. They could have. There was, again, for people who didn't actually see the debate, who joined later, there was once again weird audio issues. Not as bad as the NBC ones where microphones were off and all kinds of stuff, but just weird sound issues that they kept having, which I'm sure we had sound issues tonight, so I'm not trying to be too critical, but just weird. Two organizations now, two different debates, they had the same issues. I forgot who it was. Someone actually brought up, can we stop talking about things? I think it was Jay Inslee. Can we stop talking about things that happened 50, 60 years ago and start talking about things people actually care about now? So that I like that point because it's busing. Really, we're talking about do Biden and Harris need this busing moment again? We just went over this last debate and they try to do it again. So that, and when it showed, it turned out with them having the most talk time once again. And Cory Booker's next. I mean, they have Cory Booker. They're highlighting him on CNN right now. People on CNN said he won the debate. I do not agree with Cory Booker winning the debate. But. Okay, they had a pause. Sorry, I thought it was a dramatic pause. Michael Bennett. Sorry, it's Michael Bennett who said that. Eyebrows, as I love to refer to him. But yeah, sorry about that. I when there's that group at the bottom, Bennett, Blasio, Inslee, I can mix all of them up. Because they all, I don't even remember De Blasio speaking for 10 minutes, guys, or 9 minutes. I really don't. I thought Tulsi had a good choice of outfit. I thought the white really made her pop on screen. Kamala's gray didn't work as good. That was interesting. Because the visual thing is we spoke about it earlier. I remember one of the classic things I was taught about political debates was there was the legendary debate where Richard Nixon against JFK, and JFK won. The television audience said JFK won. The radio audience said Nixon won because JFK looked better. I think, once again, if you were to just put, looks up, I think Tulsi Gabbard, a great choice of outfit. Andrew Yang going no tie. Andrew Yang going no tie again. This is one thing I want to actually talk about. This is kind of funny to me. So, I'll see if I can find it. Andrew Yang had on social media, it's probably on my Twitter account. See if I can put it on my Twitter account. He posted a video, or it was on Instagram, anyway, about not wearing a tie at the debate. Saying, hey, we're doing the walkthrough. I'm wearing a tie right now. Should I wear a tie or not? And he was thinking about wearing a tie during the debate. Anyway, he comes on stage, and a lot of people noticed, hey, he isn't wearing a tie. I thought he was wearing a tie because he was wearing one earlier. Well, he actually found a way to work the no tie look into his closing statement, and that was really cool. I thought it definitely came across as, before the debate, he's trying to think, what should my clothes be? And he's like, you know what? So it looked like a planned move, but I liked it. I liked that there was thought process behind it. Yeah, I like seeing this stuff, man. It's dumb, but it is important. I do think not wearing a tie and then not addressing it correctly really bothered some of the kind of media elite types. Oh, he's so much better than us. He doesn't wear a tie. Because I don't know if I thought this was funny. Someone happened to send me a link to a video. It was a video of Donald Trump and Jeb Bush on the campaign trail going back and forth. And Donald Trump said something look at this guy. He can't even wear a suit and tie. He's running for president. I think that kind of mentality exists in that kind of, CNN, MSNBC media elite. With who is this guy that can't even bother to show up to debate in a suit and tie trying to run for president? And so I like how he he defied them, but then referenced it and said, "I'm not, stop talking about this. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter I wear a tie or not." So I thought that was really cool. Oh, the closing was from Reddit? Really? I didn't know that. Yeah, Bernie Sanders, according to Reddit, won the first debate. I thought this was a poll for the second debate. I don't know why that was a poll for the first debate. Shoot. I'd like to see what the Reddit straw poll was. Oh, I forgot another one that was the... remember, Tulsi famously won the Dredge Report straw poll, so we'll pull that one up. Let's see. That is funny. You guys, anyone who was following might, but Drudge Report, notably a very conservative-leaning website. Who do you think won the debate according to the Drudge Report audience? Well, I'll click Andrew Yang. I'm a big Andrew Yang fan. Oh, what do you know? Once again, Tulsi Gabbard. So that's funny to me that that Tulsi Gabbard stands out again as number one on Drudge Report. This is 2 debates in a row now. I thought her takedown of Harris is one of the strongest pushbacks Harris received this political cycle. Someone finally saying, "Hey, here's your record, Harris. You better defend this." And she really didn't defend it very well. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I thought that was really cool. But once again, we have Tulsi Gabbard and then Andrew Yang in second place. And then clearly the Republican, or the, not Republican, but the conservative audience has no love for Harris or Booker or Bennett or de Blasio. Actually, it's hilarious. De Blasio is typically one of the least liked, and he somehow is above Inslee and Gillibrand and like other people you think that they would be less high profile than him. So that's funny. I'll see if I can pull up a few more of these early polls and just go over them with you guys for a little bit longer and see, what are people saying. And dude, they're gonna keep pushing Harris. I really do think. I really think they're gonna keep pushing Harris. I don't agree with it, but I think they're gonna do it. I don't know if it'll work. I don't think it will work, to be frank. But I think they're gonna try to push it through, man. They want Harris. I don't know why. I think they just feel like we can work with her. She's good. Let's keep her. Let's not shake the boat. But like, what does she do to inspire people, man? You know what I mean? Like, I really don't know if she inspire people at all. It's really weird. Pence balances out the impact. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing you have to remember is that it's not just Trump running, it's Trump and Pence. Like, we do talk running mates on the Democratic side. Trump has his running mate, and it's Mike Pence. And, Mike Pence is the perfect vice president in the point that, like, you know what? There's nothing for Republican voters to really dislike about Pence if they like Trump. So he doesn't work against them at all, and he works for them in some areas. Because here's the thing, too, man. Like, who's going to be these people's running mate? 20 people are running for president. So someone's going to drop out and be a running mate and be a vice president, right? Like who are you actually going to get to be your VP, especially if all you do is go on debate stage and say that your opponent's an idiot and he's terrible. He's not going to be your VP. Like, who's actually going to... who's left to be a vice president? Everybody ran for president. So this many people staying in this long, I don't like it. It's just going to be a kind of lopsided... if the Democrats fight each other and don't put together a cohesive, strong ticket, and it's getting close to like generals coming up and they still don't have their stuff together, there's no way they can win, Well, what's funny, Mark, is I've actually seen a lot of people bouncing around the idea, ironically enough, of Tucker Carlson being vice president for Donald Trump in 2020. Honestly, I think in the election it would help him, but I don't. That just sounds so crazy to me. I can't see that happening. But Donald Trump, man, who knows, right? Like, who knows with the way politics is working out? This guy's in office. Maybe that would happen, but I can't imagine that. The thing I'm going to be most interested in, and I guess this will be kind of a fun thing to look at. So, I'm going to pull up the Real Clear Politics aggregate poll. If you watch the videos, you see this a lot. I love going back to this as a resource, but I want to look at and see. Right now, this is like the last time we're going to have polls released before the debates happened. Any poll released after today will probably be after the debates. So going into that night of the second debate, we'll start seeing more data shift. Kamala Harris is already... This is one thing that I've been noticing for a while. If you look at this just graph. Kamala Harris she's the gold line. She kind of faltered, got that big bump. End of June, first debate. And then just squandered it. And I don't think tonight helped her at all. I mean, what's actually kind of interesting is Harris was struggling at about 7% before that big debate bump. She's back down to 10. She's almost back where she was before. It's done nothing Well, Elizabeth Warren is actually basically just taking Bernie voters. I mean, it's just you can look, and there's a direct correlation between Bernie dropping and her rising for the most part, some slight differential, but she's basically taking her voters. And Biden is just kind of, for some reason, hanging around. I can't explain why. I think it's just so far out, people are still just kind of like, I guess Joe Biden, why not? I don't mind him. Sure, I liked Obama. I think that's where we're at. Let me see. So was the first night of the debate? Yeah, the first night of the debate was much better. The first night of the debate was a lot of the same stuff. There was a lot of, like, I feel like everyone's looking for their mic drop moment, you know? And when you do, like, there's nothing cringy and worse than, like, a forced mic drop moment than, like, speaking of, Mr. Booker is on right now. His, like, weird, like, I am Spartacus. Like, dude, if it doesn't happen organically, you know, I hate to use wrestling as an example, but same thing, dude. If you don't do it right, you can see professional wrestlers. You just look like a corny idiot. I think too many politicians, they go up there and try to have their debate moment, and they just look like a phony idiot. So that most people avoided this debate. Gillibrand at the moment with Biden, I thought was hilarious. But aside from that, that was about it. All right, so I'm trying to see if I can pull up just maybe one or two more debate, straw polls, just kind of quick initial reaction polls. So the debate polls. See. Oh, cool. Right back to Real Clear Politics again. That's a website I do like to use. They seem to aggregate stuff. This is last night's debate, though, unfortunately. They have John Delaney listed as one of the winners as well, which I do not agree with. I don't think John Delaney has had anything work really good for him at all. But I got a Donald Trump ad. It's Donald Trump spending money. Okay. Heavy.com. Heavy.com, I believe, is a very left-leaning publication. Maybe not very, but at least somewhat. Wow. That's fun. Heavy.com has... Oh, sorry. I'm sure the suspense is killing you guys. Let me flip it over screen real quick. According to the Heavy.com viewership poll, we'll vote Andrew Yang. We'll rig it up. Andrew Yang, number 1. Bill de Blasio. See, I did tell you guys, it was weird. Oh, sorry about that. It was weird for Bill de Blasio to be so high up in the Drudge Report poll, because generally speaking, he's the least liked when polled. I guess mostly amongst Democrats, he's least liked. I guess amongst Republicans, they don't view him as any different than any others. But that's really funny to me. Andrew Yang, again, this is Heavy.com, this current poll, that Andrew Yang once again took it in. So that's really cool. Yeah, Marianne Williamson's weird to me. Like, I like Marianne, I like some of the stuff she says. Some of the stuff she says really weirds me out, though. Like, I don't know what to take from her. Yang, in closing, basically harped on freedom dividend. Kind of talked a lot about the idea of we're losing jobs that we've had for a very long time, important jobs. And then he plugged his website and said, go to yang2020.com and put in your area code. And they have a cool plug-in there. So that was his big thing. This was a little bit less weird rabbit hole discussions that led nowhere. Julian Castro didn't get into they weren't falling over each other to one up each other on how much more progressive they could be. They learned from last debate, and everyone wasn't falling to say. I mean, like, I know, like, a lot of people have pointed to the fact that I think it was Rashida Tlaib recently said that we need to have a $20 minimum wage. You know, like, there wasn't anything like that in that, like there was in the last debate where, oh, you think we should do this? Well, I think we should do this plus 5, like even more. There wasn't that as much. That was good. There was still, Joe Biden was remarkably polite when it came to the moderators, and they said, Mr. Vice President, he just stopped. Everyone else just kind of ran over them. Andrew Yang, similar. Andrew Yang finished his thought at least. Biden, like, literally just, that was weird. Yeah, actually, Andrew Yang tweeted out during the debate that same thing, that the only way that automation will get brought up on the stage is if I vote in it, or if I bring it up. Also, political polls on Twitter. It's a political account with 28,000 followers, 1,500 votes. Andrew Yang, 38%, number 1. So Andrew Yang is leading in a lot of these early polls. Like the Drudge Report audience loves Tulsi. So Tulsi did great in the Drudge Report one. That's just to be expected, I believe. But yeah, that's it. And I know we're probably going to be wrapping up pretty soon here, guys. We've been going for a few hours now. But yeah, and just any last questions about anything you guys saw and you guys heard? And you guys, any questions you wish you would have seen asked to the candidates that weren't? Yeah, automation's a big one. I don't have minimum wage. Yeah, why don't we have that, man? We can afford it. That is weird to not talk. I mean, Joe Biden has talked about Andrew Yang. Like, hey, I like that you're bringing up this, like, fourth industrial revolution. This is a real thing. Like, someone needs to talk about it. I'm glad you're talking about it. Yeah. Who are we voting for? Cardin's out. You can't speak for right now. Honestly, man, I'm not voting for anyone quite just yet. I support Andrew Yang and I want him to win, but I don't know. If I had to vote, I'd vote for Andrew Yang. At the same time, though, I gotta admit, there is something about, like, whatever things currently are, like, the incumbent does have the, like, I would almost always, there's a part of me that almost always would vote incumbent just because I know what to expect. But still, I support Andrew Yang really hard. The only candidate I've donated to is Andrew Yang, so he'd probably be the one to support. That was, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, Kilimanjaro. The first debate, they asked people about gun control a lot. They didn't bring it up once in this debate. I don't believe, or at least directly. No one actually said anything directly about what do you like. No one was asked how should we reduce gun violence in this debate at all, point blank. That was interesting. I wonder why. I'm not sure why. I don't know why. But that wasn't brought up. That was really weird. I wonder if healthcare was the healthcare led the first maybe 20-30 minutes. It started off with healthcare, and the healthcare immediately became a Kamala and a Biden show. So Kamala and Biden went on about healthcare for like 20-30 minutes, and then they just didn't bring it up anymore. So yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I'll flip back over. So right now, currently, you're looking at this is currently the Heavy.com poll. You can see Andrew Yang was number 1. I'm going to show really quickly again the Drudge Report poll. That is Gabbard 1, Yang 2. So Drudge Report, Heavy. And then back to Total Talk Time, and you will see that Joe Biden talked forever in this debate. It really was something else. So yeah, like I said, guys, we're probably going to wrap up in the next few minutes. Cardin, any takeaways you have from the debate? Any big things you want to kind of bring up?
What I've done is that, I have to tell you, Anderson,
No, Cardin?
What?
Anything from the debate you would like to, before we wrap up? Anything?
Sorry,
any takeaways?
I was intrigued watching.
No, I saw,
Kamala.
Oh, I missed that. If someone could send me on Twitter what Chris Matthews said.
Any of my thoughts? My only thoughts are I fear for the future of America if this is the hysteria that reigns. I mean, I see why all the gamers online just say it's a clown world and they check out. I can see why the exhausted majority calls themselves the exhausted majority and just checks out, because this was unadulterated insanity. I'm glad there's people like Andrew Yang on stage. I think there's a natural impediment to him getting airtime that is both personality based and an obvious bias against him from the corporate news network. But I mean, my heart breaks just thinking the Democrat Party went from being the party that raised me, the people that had solutions, the watchdogs of the corporations, the watchdogs of Mother Earth, and the people that always proposed good alternate ideas. They would say, hey, we shouldn't burn fossil fuels, but we should also do this. The futuristic kind of what would be considered the modern techies, okay, we're all liberals. Back when the Democrat Party was liberal. And now this is just Bolshevik activism, okay?
I think
but no, seriously, they were arguing over who wanted more Medicare for all after they got done nothing but the entire, half of America that lives above the poverty line, nothing but racist, and then began vilifying Joe Biden for having spoken with a segregationist senator once, and all that hysteria is A, inauthentic, B, fake outrage, and C, out voices of people that have solutions for real problems such as Andrew Yang. So except for some sound bites from Tulsi Gabbard, some sound bites from Bennett and actually Inslee, and actually some sound bites from Biden, I was completely unimpressed and a little bit scared. I'll be honest with you. A little bit scared. That's all I got to say.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess that yes. So I'm definitely trying to get this saved for you guys. Yeah, that's it. So just like we're gonna wrap up here probably in the next 2 or 3 minutes. You know what, dude? I would love to see WWE host a debate, man.
And I love Fashionably Straight saying, Cardin, solid take. Thank you, Fashionably Straight. We're pals now. Of course, I don't know if this is a girl or a guy, so I'll just say pal. I was going to say we're bros now because there's 70% chance on YouTube that we're bros. But in case Fashionably Straight is a female, now you're just my sister from another mister. You know what I'm saying? Or a brother from another mother, whichever one you are, my man. Or my woe man. Keep going. That was a horrible analogy. Forget that last 10 seconds. That was the stupidest thing I ever said in my life.
I was just gonna say, yeah. So if you guys want, like I said, please, if you want to reach out to us, follow us on Twitter and reach out to us on Twitter. It'd be at PSP Radio 1 on Twitter. If you guys ever have anything you want to show us, tell us. Our DMs are always open, and that's if you want to get a response, that's where you'll find me. So that is where I would say if you guys want to get any stories to us, anything you're seeing, anything you want to see us talk about, either tweet at us there or DM us there. And that's about it. Honestly, this was our first stream. We're probably going to try to do some more. We had a lot of fun tonight. I always love hanging out with you guys.
Emperor Xander, Cardin is my bro, and Sean Sterling. Hope you guys do this for the next debates. Good job tonight.
No,
we got to. This is fun, man.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely try to work in more debates and not more debates. More live streams in general. I have a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. Dude, I have to say, I said it. I'm going to bring it up again. Donald Trump, the way he understood WWE helped him win the election. If you understand the psychology it takes to be a great professional wrestler, you could be a good politician. It's all the same nonsense, and Donald Trump nailed it. So, yeah, I definitely can see Jesse Ventura. Hey, dude, there's a reason why Jesse Ventura won political office. The Demon Kane won political office, Glenn Jacobs. It's happened before. Donald Trump, WWE Hall of Famer. So people sleep on it. People sleep on it, but I believe in that stuff. So yeah, that's probably the last thing. Yeah, I think a Fox debate could have been interesting. Because they would have had at least bias, right? Like you could say maybe Fox would want to promote bad candidates to hurt the Democrats. But I don't know, man. I think it'd be easier for them to just let them talk. That's the way. And it's just not the way conservatives really generally think. Conservatives are so obsessed with ideas. They would just be like, oh, their ideas are so wrong. Let them express them. Like they just are so obsessed with ideas that they probably wouldn't even think that way. But just my issues. Making fun of WWE, yeah. No, yeah. And I wonder, you know what? That's one of the few things I don't know Andrew Yang's position on is WWE.
To not just give fancy speeches or be in a legislative body and give speeches on the floor, but actually doing the work of being in the position to use the power that I had to form a
Thanks, man. Yeah. So yes, this is like I said, guys. If you want anything you want to reach out and let us know, please just reach out to us on Twitter. It's in the description. If you ever want to support the show, we PayPal link there. Honestly, any cent helps. It just helps us spend more time making videos for you guys. I know you guys like doing.
Throw it to me so I can end it.
And we love it. And yeah, so you'll take us out.
This is Problem Solver Politics.